All right, everybody. Let's see here.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, we are live, people. So tonight I have a special guest on my channel. Um, the great and awesome ShokyReviews wanted to come and do an interview with me. And a lot of it was actually because of the interview I just did for the second time. So if you guys
Big
don't
discussion.
know what had happened is Shoki and I did a interview back when I lived in Ventura, and that went for about 4 hours,
Five.
but or
Five.
five,
Well,
yeah.
our conversation went for five. The actual Nerdcast was four.
Oh yeah. But there was problems technically with it, and we couldn't use it. The audio dropped off after a while. The video dropped off, and it kept having issues. So
It,
I
it would
blame Hangouts.
it was Hangouts, and it was skipping like 30 or 40-minute chunks. Like the very first question I asked you, I barely get the question out, and then it jumps 20 minutes into your answer.
Yeah, that's
So
never good.
no, but yes, thanks for having me on at my own request, technically speaking. But I
Definitely.
figured if we did the one that if you guys are subbed to me, you saw my nerdcast that I posted yesterday. We filmed that like right after the beginning of the year. So that's how long it took me to finally edit and put it out because I'm a jerk like that apparently. But yeah, no, I like talking to you, and now this is the third time we've actually got to sit down and talk, so it's more fun. And because the last one was more of an interview of you more than anything, it's like I want to go the other way. I want to let you have fair run at me.
Definitely. Well, welcome in, Judd. Thanks for coming by. I know Plastic Cannibals is live now with Unboxing Art, so a lot of our cannibal crew will probably be over there. But anybody else that wants to come in, we definitely appreciate you coming by. So,
Yeah, they decided to do Plastic Cannibals live tonight, and then you and I had sort of kind of made plans for this, so I helped them get set up. So I had to make sure that Art knew how to run Hangouts and all that stuff. So, and then of course my good buddy Thomas Rice is filling in over there. So, yay!
yay.
But if you got, we're gonna try to start doing Plastic Cannibals live either on Art's channel or my channel to get more exposure and to be able to share it in other groups because we were doing it directly in the Facebook group and only the people in the group could see it, which was very limited exposure. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's always hard. I mean, I've done the same thing. Like when I went live on the Syndicate or live in the Renegades and stuff like that, and it's only those people in those groups, that can see those things. Um, hey, Batcave 13, what
I,
up? What is up, Alex? Um, so the
also,
way it's going to work,
by the way, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but congrats on 1500.
I appreciate it, man. It took me, let's see, a year. No, I'm at 2.5 years to get to 1,500.
Yeah,
So for me, that is freaking awesome because it is consistent, 1,500 subscribers. These are people that's been with me since the beginning or new people that's joined since then, and not left. So that's kind of the cool part is like I don't have 20,000 subscribers and then that fluctuates between 1,000 to 2,000 every other month. These are the people that want to be here and actually watch my content. So I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I will say it's been cool because with all these Facebook groups that we've joined together, Plastic Cannibals, the Syndicate, the Renegade, Open Box Mafia, that's actually grew us as a community. So our subscribers are extending further than that now. So it's kind of cool to see how it keeps growing. And I know you just went over 4,000 subscribers as well. So,
yep,
um,
just
and
creeped
how long
over.
did
I'm in year 3 now, so but like you said, consistency. But you got it's been a struggle realistically, but the last 1000, I think I just did my 3000 video in October. No, it was round about my 2 year anniversary. So yeah, so round about August, September, I hit 3000. So I've gained 1,000 since then. So that's pretty good. It's been a very, very quick growth recently, but the views have gone down. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. So it's like I've got 4 times as many views, but I've got or sorry, 4 times as many subs, but got half as many views. So I don't know how to take that.
It's always a pain, 'cause especially with the views and the view durations, you know how long people watch your videos for, keeping them entertained, and that analytic is always hard. You know, it's always going to bite you. You know, and for me, it's like, you know, I enjoy getting on the views. I enjoy, you know, seeing like how many people participate and do things. But I do this for everybody else. You know, I'm having fun doing it for you guys out there in YouTube land, and you know, and all my friends and family out there. So hey, it's fun, but it'll keep going until I get tired of it, or you know, something happens.
Yeah, exactly. And and actually I've got to slow down my release schedule right now since I'm on a no buying kick for Lent. So I gotta I gotta slow down my video content right now so I can stretch it out till April. Like so, but luckily I picked up the last couple figs that I needed, and I mentioned that in my Lent review or my Lent video. It's like, okay, I've got two figs I got to pick up, and then that's it. So I finally got the last two pieces of my vulture bath that I needed. Um, so I can finally finish that wave. And surprisingly, Tombstone became the hardest thing to find. It's like, what? Like, this is the guy who has been peg warming for 2 years, and now I can't find it. It's like, what the heck? People took advantage of that
Well,
13.99 sale, man.
a lot of people did. Like literally, I had that whole onslaught wave at my Walgreens
Yeah,
for like 6, 8 months, and it's all gone now. Like literally, somebody went and just bought them all. You know, the only thing left in there, the last I looked, was a couple of the Vulture wave, and that was it. And then a couple, like three white tigers from the Rhino wave.
really weird. Uh, I did notice that, like, because I visit the same like 7 or 8 stores, on a weekly basis, just depending on where I'm at for work. And I'm noticing all of a sudden there's new figures on the shelf. I was like, oh no, what happened is somebody finally came in and cleared out old stock, and they're finally putting things on the shelf. Like
Bingo.
several stores had Mystique finally, but of course every store has a buttload of Namors, um, Medusa, and it's like nobody needs those figures, sadly.
No,
It,
and that's the kind of like mine doesn't even have Namors or Medusas or any of the Fantastic Four stuff. Like literally, there was like five legends, and they were all from the homecoming wave. And I'm like, okay, where'd everything else go? I said somebody must have just with that sale, and that sale goes to the end of the month too.
yeah,
So I mean, as they keep bringing it out, they're gonna keep selling. So this is a money maker for Walgreens. Yes, it's $7 cheaper than normal price, but you think about how much they're actually selling now. You know, they're getting rid of stuff for because usually when they do these sales, it's what for like 3 or 4 days. This is a whole
yeah,
month. So Walgreens is trying to dump a bunch of stuff. I can guarantee you that. And I still haven't seen Mystique in stores yet.
weird. She's like everywhere. That's really strange. But then again, you've got things in the store right now that we don't, or at least because I'm not shopping, I haven't seen. Um, so like everybody, it seems like almost across the nation simultaneously, we got the new Siege wave in at Walmart's, but it's like I haven't looked yet, but almost never go to Walmart. But well, you got Mystique though. Somebody covered you for that, right?
I actually did get a Mystique. And it's funny because like where I live in the central portion of California,
Mhm.
we don't get nothing. We're like you guys on the East Coast. We get everything last. Like
East Coast.
SoCal.
How dare you?
But
How dare you, sir? Don't lump me in with the East Coasties. I am
you know what I
central.
mean.
I am central, sir. I take offense to that. I am central and southern.
Well, I'm from the South too originally, so I know. But
Well,
now what I'm saying is that, typically California, like SoCal, gets everything first.
yeah, yeah,
And then it usually goes to New York side, and then it goes to Ohio, and then Ohio, and then Texas, and then Texas. Finally, it'll get to my side in Central California after that. So I'm usually way late to the game. So like I still haven't, I haven't seen the new Siege stuff the new Studio Series that just came out. The newest thing we have is the Barricade Wave from Studio Series, and then they just put out a couple of Ultra Magnuses and a couple of Shockwaves from the leaders, and that's the newest things we got. Still don't have Turtles yet from NECA.
Wow.
Yeah. So everybody else in there, and we don't even have a tag for it.
Do you mean
Um,
the two packs?
yeah.
Okay, well, because remember the previous NECA turtles were everywhere and then hard to find at the same time. I haven't seen those either. I haven't seen the two packs, but then again, they were limited, so people may have cleared them out already from the targets I've went to recently. Not that I'm going to jump on those at $50 a pop.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like I got mine covered. That is the catch 22. So shout out to my boys in the Renegades.
Mhm.
They're down in SoCal. They got me covered on a lot of stuff where it comes out. Like literally, they just found the new Studio Series Optimus and Rampage. You know the
Nice.
Voyagers. They showed up. So I'm like, grab me those, two, send them up here. You know, same way for a lot of stuff. You know, it's like I just buy it, send it my way. Um,
Uh, I do have a question on the Studio Series thing for you though. Are you going to get that leader class Optimus
yes,
with the
sadly, yes.
with that trailer and all that? If they do it good enough, and he's basically like a retool of the Revenge of the Fallen version, I might have to get it because it looks really good. They're still kind of on that weird color, red, like the weird blue and red though. It's not quite the sharp colors. It's almost neon and flat at the same time, and that's the only problem I don't like about the previous Prime that came out. But that leader class, that might have to be something that goes in the collection because finally we get it with the trailer and it's not crap.
Exactly. Well, and so if you guys remember, you know, we had a trailer like that once, and it made Butterfly Prime,
That
and it
was
was
crap.
crap.
That was crap. Actually, Thomas Rice has the one that came in the big display thing with the electronic try me button.
uh,
He's got that. He picked it up at a con. I think it was one of the last bot cons or whatever that was here in Texas. And because we just don't get robot things here in Texas anymore. Um, so there's that. But he's got it. It's on display in his dining room. It's funny.
yeah, and that's the catch 22 is like, I remember I bought that Butterfly Prime because, you know, that was before the Jetwing Prime came out, you know. I put that thing in, I'm like, this is crap. I actually took it back to the store the next day, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I want my money back. You should give me like 20% more back for even buying this thing. Uh,
You need to pay me for bringing it back because this was crap.
it
I mean, because I had
was.
because I had the Revenge of the Fallen Prime and Jetfire, and they were great for what they were. But now we have the new updated versions that are actually pretty good, even though some people say the old one was better. But compared to that crap with the trailer, the Dark of the Moon version, no, that was they started going downhill. They blew their load on Revenge of the Fallen, and then everything went downhill for movie stuff until now.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is like I have the Asia Premium Series Ultimate Optimus Prime, which
Mhm.
comes with every weapon, every you know, it comes with a Jetwing pack and all that, and it's all and it uses the Buster Optimus Prime
Yes,
as
the
the
Buster Prime.
actual,
Yep, I never had
you
that, but I
know,
always wanted it.
you know, and I was like, I want that, and so I finally got it, you know, and I was like, okay, it looks cool and everything, you know, and I really did like the Revenge of the Fallen mold. I just hated transforming that damn thing. It was a pain in the ass. I mean, the actual NPM is easier to transform than the Revenge of the Fallen one because you're worried about breaking off
Yeah,
part of the chest parts, you know, on it on the Revenge of the Fallen one.
but the NPM one had that weird gap problem that nobody could solve because apparently it had to be transformed in the exact right order for that thing to close properly. I never played with that, but I watched everybody else like struggle, and I had it in hand, and I'm like, eh, do I? And then I just can't let it go because I love the Revenge of the Fallen mold, and I wish I still had it at this point, but I don't. That was part of my thing where I gave away like all my Transformers to my buddy's kid. So, and like well all the new ones I had, I should say, not all, but just those. Then that's where I only kept my Fall of Cybertron, Takara Prime, and Ultra Magnus. That's the only thing I kept from that line of Transformers I was picking up.
Dang. Too bad I didn't know you back then. I would have bought them all off of you probably.
Yeah, that would have been interesting, dude. If I knew you back then, I'd have like 10,000 subscribers, 15,000 subscribers now. I didn't. I had no concept of communities back then, so it was just me. And actually, the guy was from my beer collecting group. It was his kid, So, and then I got him into Gundam building as well, so that worked. So it all spreads out. So that's when I kind of abandoned Transformers, picked up Gundams, and now I do all of the above. So it's
Well,
just
it's
a,
actually a good segue to our some of our interview questions.
oh, good. Look at me accidentally segueing things.
Say, hey, it works out. So
Speak.
first off,
Yes,
tell
I'm
us a
first.
little, tell us a little about your YouTube channel and what it is and what you do.
I do nothing. No. Um, basically, I really should make an intro video for my thing. I never have in all these years. But basically, it started out with me wanting to be able to voice my opinions on the Gundams I built. And I had made a not so great review comparing four four different suits that one dude piloted. So it was the evolution of those suits. So I did it as a three-part deal. And I filmed it. It looked like crap, despite the fact it was a nice HD handycam. And I just said, screw it, I'm not going to do this. But I had been doing build videos in our Facebook group, and I was doing things like that. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do the YouTube thing. And that's how I started it. But I knew that Gundam wasn't going to be the only thing I could do because it's more than one love. So I was doing other fun, nerdy reviews on the side. I did a few like of loyal subjects and stuff like that, blind bag openings just for fun nerdy stuff because Hastings was closing right around the corner, so everything was on clearance. So I started picking up things from there. So like my early stuff is like random nerd stuff that I like. um what was it? So they were random nerdy blind bags, and I ended up getting a whole bunch of the small vinyl figures and stuff like that. One of my favorites of which was a Godzilla that was really, really cool. But I also like anime, old school 80s cartoons, all that kind of stuff. So that's basically what I've reviewed as I've gone. And then now my main staples are Gundam, of course, Transformers, Marvel Legends, any really cool figure. So in the last less than 2 years, I've kind of gone off the deep end on Marvel Legends, Black Series, uh, Power Rangers Legacy, rest in peace, um, and now Dragon Stars. Because I can't afford Figwarts. It's like, so I'm going with Dragon Stars instead of Figwarts. And then now that now the Flame Toys is a thing, they're doing a crossover between model kits and Transformers. So now I'm doing those as well. And that's a pretty big deep end going for this year. But basically, I just review the things I love. And lately I've been doing more nerdcasts, like when you came on. So podcasts with my buddies. Um, I'm doing a lot more tutorial videos, how-to videos, and stuff like that, like how I upgraded my lighting right here in front of me so that I can look somewhat better than I normally do. And then just doing that kind of stuff. So that's basically all my channel consists of. It's fun, nerdy stuff, and just going from there. And if I could plug real quick, next weekend is my Nerdcast with Bobby Skullface.
About damn time. I knew you were doing it. I was wondering when it was actually going to show up.
Well, I had to put yours out first. So I had just I had picked yours back up to finish editing it. And then like I asked Bobby about coming on, I just said, screw it, I'm gonna ask him because we were already talking Transformers and other things. And I said, screw it, just ask him. And he's like, I can do it at 1 p.m. I'm like, I didn't mean today, but okay, we'll jump on it. I had roughly 30 minutes to prep and get set up, and I came up with the questions and everything like that. And I've been thinking about it for weeks, so it wasn't that hard. And speaking of segues, I've got some really good ones in that. So if you guys want to listen to that next week, by all means, come check it out. But before you do that, make sure you go listen to Nate's from yesterday. So go over to the ShokyReviews channel, or if you're in the syndicate, I shared it kind of everywhere yesterday. So, but yeah, it's just I'm really enjoying having fun. And then yesterday I did the your 15 minutes nerdcast where I let just whoever come on and they get 15 minutes to talk about whatever, and then boom, 15 minutes they get cut off and they're gone. That was a lot of fun last night, so I'm going to be doing those in the future. So that's opened up to not just my friends but subscribers or whoever, if they just want to come on and talk for 15 minutes about whatever.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it at the end, but I was working on packaging crap up, that selling stuff before I go to TFCon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that sounded like a fun time. I mean, we did that a little bit, on the Cannibal side too. Remember when we did on Facebook Live? We'd say, "Hey, come
Mm-hmm.
in for 5 or 10 minutes," and then get out so we can send somebody in. We did that rotation for a bit.
Yeah, and I've done open nerdcasts before with just posting a link and like, come on in, guys, whenever, because I had nothing to talk about and just hours to do whatever. And those always go for like 5 hours. Like the two times I've done an open nerdcast, they went for 5 hours. Like that's just people coming in as I go, and they just come in to talk or whatever. And we just BS about whatever we want to talk about. Tattoo Toy Hunter, what's going on? Nightwalker, hello.
Hey, everybody.
I got the chat pulled up over here so I can watch what's going on. Hey,
Definitely.
everybody. Actually, I wanted Tattoo Toy Hunter to come on. He's going to be on eventually at some point.
Definitely. You need to have Kevin on, that's for sure. Um, so that brings me to my next question, of course.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your personal life, your job, your family, where you're from, and like where have you lived at, and what's been your best place that you've lived at. We're not gonna. We won't talk about your house. We all know about the house situation.
Well, I was going to say the work. Okay, so technically speaking, if we talk about just sheer number of crappy incidences, this has been the worst place we've lived at because we have had massive water problems, whether that's from outside or inside. That's just the most modern things. If you're following me on anything or if you know me, I've been posting about it and
Mhm.
putting up Facebook Live videos, cursing a lot. Um, but at least those problems have got dealt with, and we still have time to we still got time on our lease here. We are kind of house shopping at the moment, or at least looking around at what's available. We got a really nice a really nice
Oh,
condo,
combo, man.
uh, condo slash townhome. Unfortunately, it's in a very expensive golf course neighborhood. Then I was like, nope, never mind. As soon as I saw where it was, I'm like, I already know it's going to cost too much just to live there. Forget the rent. I was right. It's $200 HOA fees just right off the top. I'm like, ooh, never mind. No, it looks really nice, except it was built a really long time ago and remodeled. Anyways, but either way, I am from good old Texas, around about the Houston area, born and raised. I've been here my whole life. And basically have just moved. We moved from Houston when I was 6 out to the quote unquote country. It was country then. Now it's city adjacent. So that's how much the surrounding area has grown in the last 20 some odd. How long has it been? Shit, 30 years now. Um, and yeah, that's basically what it is. I'm it's so weird. So basically, I'm essentially married. I do, of course, refer to Miss Shoki as the wife. We're not legally, there's no paperwork as of yet, but in all eyes, under the law, of course, we are common law. We've lived together most of our relationship now. So she's in all aspects other than one piece of paper. She's my wife. So there's that. We have no children or pets as of now because our apartment is too small for that. So once we have the room to grow, we will. Um, as for work, I work for a large worldwide company that moves boxes, because they're very picky about being spoken about on the internet. So I try not to refer to things directly anymore because it almost cost me my job one time.
Ooh.
So I don't talk about them by name, but most people know which one I'm talking about. I've done videos in my uniform, so it's pretty obvious where I work. I just don't say it out loud. Of course, you know because you've known me for a while now. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to say what up to Judd. What up, Judd?
Hey, Terry.
He's by the way, he's going to adopt my tombstone off of me because I don't actually need the tombstone figure.
You just want the bath piece.
Yeah, so I just need the bath piece. Which actually, shout out to Unboxing Art. He did find somebody selling only the bath piece last night, but I'd already bought the figure already, so it doesn't do anything. Were there anything else? What else was in that question that you were asking?
Family. So like
Family.
we're
They're all
like
they're all dead. I'm just kidding. Um, uh, I have a very, very large family. Um, my mother was one of 11 children, and almost all of them have kids, grandkids, and great grandkids. And that's just my mom's side. My dad's side, I'm the baby of my family. I have three very much older half siblings who all have kids who have kids. So I'm actually a great uncle 7 times over now. I think I have seven great eight. No, it's eight. Holy crap! There's another one on the way. I forgot. My second oldest nephew has one on the way right now. I forgot. I can't even keep up. Like they're all over, and our family is spread throughout most of Texas, and then a lot of a few of them are scattered, like a couple in Tennessee, some in California, stuff like that. But mostly Texas centric, so to speak.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, and you guys know I have a huge family just here. Yeah. Uh, so I love having family. I love having kids. You know, it's definitely a blast. Yeah, I'm able to do that. Plus, have all of this stuff behind me. You
yeah,
know,
that's
so
the thing. See, luckily, I'm building that up now, so when we do have kids and I can't afford it anymore, I'll at least have something to look back on. Because I know kids are expensive as hell.
yeah.
And like right now, we're skating by decently right now. Um, but either I'm gonna have to pick up a side job or she's gonna have to get paid what she's worth at her job. Because they don't pay her enough. It sucks for someone to have a college degree in what she does and not get paid what she's worth. Really makes me mad. Um, so she's been shopping around and looking for a raise and stuff like that. But when we can afford a bigger place and we can afford to do more things, we definitely will. We want to have kids. That's always been in the plan. I've always wanted kids. In fact, I was a stepdad for about 3 years. Well, stepdad, I was with a single mother, so the kid was essentially mine for 3 years, and I treated her as such, whether I get recognition for that or not, because there were differing opinions on how people should parent, or what qualifies you to be a parent, but it is what it is. So I got to experience the joys of being a father to a preteen for for 3 years, which in some, I mean, while I definitely admit I miss her, and I wish that she could have at least somehow still been in my life, even if her mother never was again. I'm glad I missed the hard part of puberty. So it's like unfortunately, as I say, fortunately and unfortunately, I was booted out at right before the big events of puberty really kicked in. If you're catching my drift,
Yeah.
um, she didn't get a visit from her Aunt Flo yet, so I'm glad I just kind of bailed out at training bras. Um, so it's like nothing. I'm sorry, like even as a stepdad, it's awkward watching your little girl grow up. It's really weird. And in the future, I may still look forward to having a daughter. Who knows? But I may have to go through it all over again. So we'll see what happens in that aspect. But we are wanting kids for sure.
Definitely. Well, it's like I have three girls. You know, so
Oh,
I'm
I'm
gonna
so
go through it
sorry.
all
I'm so
in
sorry.
one boy. So
Okay, you got the one. You got the one though.
yeah, I
He's
at
my
least
little
got one.
buddy. You like
Yeah.
you're like they whenever they're all hitting that one age, you're just gonna hold on to him. He's like it's like no, he's my shield. This is mine.
Yeah, that's
That'll be
called a
fun.
camping trip, you know, or fishing, you know, for the weekend, you know, when things
Exactly.
happen.
Exactly. It's like us boys are just gonna disappear for a while, and they won't even notice. They won't even notice you're gone.
That's right.
That's funny.
All right. So
So
as a toy collector,
I'm not.
what lines interest you the most and why? Now, I know Gundam is a huge part of it, you know, so is Transformers and stuff like that. So, why does Gundam interest you the most and why?
Well, Gundam doesn't necessarily interest me the most. It's just the thing I have the most of because, like I said earlier, the I bailed out of my Transformers collection just because I needed to change my life, and I had a bunch of them sitting around. So basically, that same breakup actually is what caused me to get rid of my Transformers collection and get into Gunpla building. Um, so it was a way of changing my life and also dealing with depression and loneliness because I had no friends, no nothing. I lost a whole lot of everything whenever we broke up. And I got into Gundam building because I was watching the Gundam Build Fighters. So that's when I found out it was a thing. So once I knew it was a thing, I started that collection, and it was an easy collection to get into because I like to build things. I like to create. I've been a carpenter. I've been a carpenter all my life. I build cars. I fix things. I build houses if I need to. So I mean, like building is in my nature to begin with. And when I say build a house if I need to, when I didn't even go into it, the crappiest other place I lived in was the crappy trailer I lived in for 5 years. That we were rebuilding from the ground up, and it was 40 years old when we started working on it. So we literally built it from the subframe to the ceiling. So plumbing and all that. So um, basically, I just put my need to create and my need to be creative to good use, and that's why Gundam happened. But then once I didn't necessarily exhaust that, but I needed to have some fun. There's only so much fun here. But then when that's how I got back into collecting Transformers again, um, which I think I had. Hold on, where did I start with that? I think it was Masterpiece Bumblebee was where I first really started to change things up. Because that's when you can still pick it up at Toys R Us, for way too
Yeah.
much money. So I picked that one up, and I picked up Masterpiece Blue Streak or Streak, and from there I branched off into third party, picking up Planet X stuff, which is a decent part of my collection over here, and still one of my most favorite companies and lines for third party. Like I still have to review my Dinobots over here that have been waiting for like 2 months. But now that I've gotten into Marvel Legends, which are fun by all means, they're getting better. Marvel Legends are definitely cranking up, and I've got MCU lines. I've got all the Fantastic Four stuff. I'm really trying to get into collecting Iron Man uh, figures and stuff. Which someday I will finish that Hulkbuster build a figure. Someday. It's like, even though I have the 10th anniversary version, I really want to finish the BAF because otherwise I'm just sitting on parts and it's annoying me. Uh,
Sell
but
the
I think,
parts.
huh? No,
Just
because
sell
I
the
want I
parts.
want to have both. I want to have the UK. I want to have the UK version and the American version, even though the American version is crap. Paint and plastic wise, it looks like melted Velveeta on there instead of gold. Um, but I think like if I have a favorite line for like a very favorite Black Series stuff, especially within the last year at least, has gotten so incredible. Like I don't have a massive Black Series collection, but I have the ones I want. And there's ones I need to pick up Grievous whenever I can. I know a lot of people got their fulfilled order. Yeah, yeah. Don't point out your ass. It's like I hate you because you always like you just have a pile of stuff I want sitting behind you. But because I just got the archive series, Boba Fett and Luke. I just reviewed those. Those will be coming out when I edit them. Those will be trickling out throughout March and April to fill out my thing. But starting with like the Gamorrean Guard was my first not the first figure, but the first one that went, wow, this is a thing. Like this is amazing. Um, and then like the funny thing is my villain shelf just looks really cool, but then I have my good guy shelf that's just kind of down there and it's got way too many C3POs in it. Which actually I still need a did they ever make a pure gold C3PO?
No,
They
not
never
Black
did.
Series.
So I need to find I need a custom build one. So I need a red arm one and then a regular silver leg and then just pull off the left arm and swap it in. So I have a pure gold one.
Or just
Um
paint the silver leg one gold.
No, because I can't match that gold. It's just easier to snag an arm. Or I guess, well, I need one that, yeah, either way, I would need another red arm one. I would need
Yeah.
one of each, anyways. But then I could do a combo silver leg red arm on
Yeah,
the other
well,
one.
there's two
So,
versions of the red arm too. There's
yeah,
a
so he's just
matte
got,
and then shiny.
yeah. But I think, even though I've gone off the deep end on Dragon Stars lately, and I think it's just a new fun obsession because I even though they're crap, they're fun. And I like to build the figures. And then you've seen the custom one I built, which will be coming out on my
Yeah.
channel soon.
Yeah.
I had way too much fun making that, so now I've caught the bug of customizing. So that might be a whole new thing I go down. Um, but like I have to like concentrate my line. So I'm loving the new Siege line for Transformers. There's just so much good going on there. So and if we're going with just mainline stuff, I'm loving Siege, and I just picked up this pretty boy. Just picked up the
You suck. I don't
MP18
have.
Plus. You don't have that one?
I don't have
Oh,
any of the new waves yet.
okay. Well, no, this isn't Siege. This is MP18 Plus or 17.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've
So
got
that
the old one.
yeah. Well, I'm liking the new aesthetic for these, so I'm gonna pick up Wheeljack as well. when I'm out of this the whatever the opposite of a rut is. When I'm when I'm out of it, I could buy that. So now I know what it's like to be Tony, because Tony's in his rehab where he can't really buy anything. Now I know what it feels like. But I don't know, like favorite things to collect is hard because if you can see my shelf over here, which looks a lot like the shelf behind you, honestly, because they're Billy's. Literally, it looks like the same shelf. Uh, it's like full of Marvel, full of Power Rangers, and then like a smattering of like newer stuff. And like the newer stuff is where I'm at, and that's where I'm loving it. So it's kind of hard to nail it down. I need to. And then of course I have all my World of Nintendo stuff above that. We've briefly touched on Nintendo stuff before. Um which I found a new way to display my 2.5 inch figures. So I'm doing the shadow boxes for those, which is going to take me months to actually accomplish. Because the first one took me 3 hours and I wasn't even finished. Because it's not easy to tie those little guys down with fishing line, which is
Well,
the
did you just buy the shadow box from Michaels or?
yeah. So I bought the shadow box from Michaels with some foam board. This is exactly what Ernest did with his the way he does his action figures. So just poke a couple little holes behind it and then tie it up with fishing line. Um, which I think if I had some hot glue or some way to secure the fishing line without having to tie it on the back, I would probably be faster. That's where I was having the hardest time, is actually tying things. Um, but yeah, no, if there's waves that I love, I definitely would say things that I've spent the most amount of time and effort on is the Black Series and Legends in the last year, and then of course the Transformers Legends that or Legends scale stuff that freaking Deluxe got me hooked on.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matt.
Hail Hasbro reviews.
Hey, Hasbro. Yeah, and let's see. Legends are falling off the peg warmers. I'm looking at the
Yeah.
chat here. Yeah, there's a whole lot of that going on. And whenever they make something that just has to be part of a Build-A-Figure line, most people just pass it up and then wait for somebody to casually sell the Build-A-Figure part. That's why there's so many Namors. Or if they put out a Medusa that nobody gives a crap about and it just sits. Um, it's weird when we talked about that a minute ago. They have I saw one store locally that for some reason has like four invisible womans. Like they're just sitting there.
Really?
I was like, that's actually where I picked up mine, because I needed to pick her up, and then I found her. Well, I picked her up the week before, and then I stopped at that Walgreens, which I almost never do, and boom, there's a couple Johnny Storms. So that's how I got my last Johnny Storm. Um, so I mean, I don't know. Like, it's an eclectic collection, but I've narrowed it down to the things I really want to collect, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Um, and like I said, where Gundam was an outlet for creativity, and it still is. That's why it continues, not just the fact that I have a decent backlog sitting here. Um, but this is like the fun stuff. This is where I'm trying to be a kid again. And the fact that toys are getting good now is like
Oh, yeah.
there was such a lull between the late 90s and mid 2000s where there was just like crap, like just like it went from the really cool
Beast
stuff,
Wars.
the really cool stuff we had growing up with the 80s and then early 90s. There were some really really cool toys, and then I don't know what happened. I guess the economy dropped or something. I have no idea. Maybe building practices had to change, something where quality just dropped off. But now kids don't seem to play with toys anymore, and I don't get that. Like, obviously it's the electronic age, so they have a tablet or a phone in their hands, but like it seems to be that us as adults are buying the toys that are meant for our kids.
Well, and that's kind of the catch-22 is like, and you brought up a good point, was the mid 90s. So, what happened in the mid 90s? We turned into teenagers. So,
We
the
did, yeah.
kids from the late 70s and 80s no longer were buying toys. We were growing up. So, the mid 90s happened, and there's really nothing that came out during that time that was really that good. I mean, X-Men, the animated
Beast
series,
Wars.
ended. I hate Beast Wars as
I know you
far as.
do. That's why I
Um,
whispered it. I was like, Beast Wars.
But the catch 22 is, I mean, I'm not going to say I hate Beast Wars completely. I just, I'm a G1 person, you know, and there's a couple of genres, you know, that some of us are broken up in Transformers fandom. Is I'm a G1er versus a Beast War because I grew up with G1. I mean, I've watched all the Beast Wars and I have it on DVD and stuff, you know. And props to David K. He does amazing Megatron.
Yes, he sure
Um,
does.
but the Catch 22 is that's not my
Yes.
Transformer. You know, mine was always G1. You know, henceforth, why when the Siege line came out, it's based upon G1. All of us G1ers and fanboys are saying, "Woohoo! Finally, we get good figures to play with." You know,
You mispronounced that. It's G Winers.
no negative Ghost Rider. Um,
Well, in certain groups, that's definitely what they are. Um,
exactly.
but no, it that's one thing about Siege. It has reinvigorated G1 in a new way, which I guess is what reinvigorated means. Because if it invigorated it, it'd be the original. But it's a new aesthetic on the same thing we always knew and loved with a quote unquote new story. Um, but with modern quality, which the last couple lines that came out didn't seem to have modern quality. And it's almost like they took in all the money from the really crappy lines, the previous lines, and then suddenly decided to kick it up a notch once Pokemon was gone. They're like, I think we need to or we need to make things that, excuse me, people will buy. So even though they cost more, we're getting better quality.
Well, and so the catch 22 is if you think about the way the G1 and Beast Wars ran, we
Mhm.
had G1, we had G2, we had Beast Wars, we had Machine Wars. And then we had a gap for almost 3 years, 4 years. There was really no Transformers until Car Robots came out and Red
Yeah.
2001 came out.
Yeah.
So when that finally came out, that reinvigorated a lot of G1er collectors saying, oh crap, there's a new show and it looks a little bit like G1. I might want to watch it. And then the Unicron trilogy came out, and we all were like, let's go back in our holes again because we weren't really happy with the storylines. I mean, it was kind of hard too because like I was living in Korea at the time when the Unicron trilogy came out, so I watched it as the Japanese version. You know, Micron Legends, Super Link, and
Yeah.
I knew Galaxy Force did not go with the series.
No, it
So
didn't.
when I saw the American version and they lumped it in together, I'm like, that shit makes no sense to me whatsoever. Uh, um,
Yeah, and isn't technically in which series is it where they're basically it's not just a total retelling, it's almost supposed to be the same characters and new thing. Or maybe I'm just imagining that. I watch a lot of
that's
Christmas.
that's that was Energon slash Super Link. They were supposed to
Okay,
be the new
yeah.
characters, but then they're actually the same characters from before.
Okay, so that's where I was confused. I mean, I know the Energon, the the Unicron trilogy is technically all the same continuity within itself. It's its own continuity, even though the series themselves were not meant to be that way. They forced them to be that way. I watch a lot of Chris McFeely
Mhm.
and his explanations. Something about that voice, I love it. It's a nice little Irish voice, or I think he's Irish.
Yeah.
Um, but the basics on. I love that. Now we need a Scottish version. Anyways, and
I
just get Sean Connery to do it.
I reckon.
That'd be funny. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say now. I don't remember. I had a thing and I forgot what it was. Oh, Beast Wars. Uh, I only had very few Beast Wars toys, but I wish I had had more. Even though I know some of them were just dumb, and in fact, a lot of them didn't even come out until later series. They've just repainted them. They
Mhm.
repainted and repurposed Beast Wars toys that never came out. Um, and of course, the toy lines almost had nothing to do with the series themselves, and it was kind of funny. But now we're getting modern interpretations of Beast Wars toys, including the masterpiece ones, which are great. And was you and I that talked about it? The Iron Factory Megatron that's coming out,
Yeah.
the Legends version, and the same thing with the Optimal Optimus. I'm like, it's like I have no Iron Factory stuff, but because it's not a G1 shelf, I think I might have to go ahead and pick those up because it doesn't have the match aesthetic, and I'm kind of good with that. Um, so I don't know. It's like there's so much about third party that has so much. If you can't find what you need as for a G1 shelf in the third party sector, then obviously they haven't made it yet.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point because I mean I collect everything MP plus third party MP.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, I just got Double Evil, the Overlord from Fans Hobby.
Yep.
I love what third party's doing right now. I mean, I actually would take Fans toys over Takara most of the days because of the aesthetic that they do. Now their transformations suck for the last couple of ones they've done,
Hmm.
but like that Quietus, that Cyclonus, that was
Hmm.
money.
Yeah.
That was money in the bank. It looked just like he'd walked out of the screen. So did Cup and so did RC, but those two were a pain to transform. I did it once. I put them back in bot mode, and they're sitting on the shelf, never doing it again. Um, but like for me,
Yeah.
I didn't really have many of the Beast Wars. I had the Optimus Primal, I had the Megatron, I had Rampage. The ant thing. But
That wasn't
after
Rampage. That was Inferno.
or Inferno, whatever he's called.
It's like,
But
hold on. It's like Rampage was a crab that turned into a tank. You're a little off there.
but the thing was that for me is I actually like the Beast Wars 2 and Beast Wars Neo better. You
Yeah,
know,
a lot of people did. And I've seen the toys, but I've never seen any of the series.
here, let me show you one.
Oh, he's getting up. Do,
So,
do, 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 do. Eventually he'll come back. Stupid autocorrect. I meant transmetal. It's okay, Slim Tim.
okay.
We know what you meant, Slim
So,
Tim. What is
okay.
that?
So this is from Beast Wars. This is from Beast Wars 2. This is Galvatron or Megatron.
Sure enough.
So this is so, and he's ugly, but take a look at that head. Why does that head look familiar?
I know what it is. I mean, it's not just Megatron, but it's something.
Because it's the same head sculpt used for the Megatron in regular Beast Wars, just a
Oh, yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
color.
Okay. I forgot about that. Yeah, because I forgot how he
Yep.
had that big face.
Yep. And then, of course, when you had Beast Wars Neo, he looked like this, a freaking ugly thing. Now, this one got brought over to the U.S. So that one was brought over to the U.S. as a combiner, and so that was what's cool was during that time frame. A
Oh,
lot of the Beast
yeah.
Wars Neo and 2 figures were brought over, and they were put into like Beast Wars Transmetals, or they were put into a box set like Magnaboss, if you remember
I
Magnaboss.
remember Magnaboss. Yeah.
Magnaboss was never in the Beast Wars cartoon at
No,
all,
definitely
as
not.
far as
No.
the U.S. He was from Beast Wars 2.
And he
So
was
that's
an eagle, a mammoth, and or at least an elephant and a lion.
it
Or
was it was a eagle, it
yeah.
was a rhinoceros,
R-
and it was a lion.
Oh, I'm thinking of the convoy. The guy when he's a thing. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I thought he was an
Yep.
elephant. You're a
So,
rhino. Hmm.
because the woolly mammoth is Big Convoy, I've got him.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so in Big Convoy, of course, was the convoy of Beast Wars Neo. So I mean, that was kind of thing. Is like, and I think the reason why was is because I actually liked animated cells, not CGI Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with was just cartoons, straight up, animation cell, hand drawn, whatnot. I think that's why I like Beast Wars 2 and Neo better. Um,
You're a purist. Look at you.
I can't help it. I mean,
What if they redid Beast Wars but animated instead of CG?
I'd still watch it. I mean, because it's
Or
Transformers.
would you feel different though? If it was everything, if they kept the same everything, but all they did was do straight up animation for it instead of the CG. Like if somebody actually made an animated series but just kept all the audio.
I would probably still like it the same. It's just like I said, I am always going to be preferential because of my characters I like from
Mhm.
G1. Hot Rod,
Yeah.
Optimus Prime. Those are the characters I grew up with. Those are the ones I always gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Uh,
I,
when
I
you have Optimus Primal, it was like, okay, you've got a guy, but he's not Optimus Prime. He was like, and the way the story kept changing. I think that's what would kind of frustrated me a lot was in Beast Wars is they were retconning and retconning in the same series.
yeah.
Like first it was like, okay, first they were just part of the Cybertron. They got dropped into, there, but there was no explanation about Optimus Prime or G1. Like, how were they really connected? So they said, well, no, actually, they went millions of years even before the Ark crashed on Earth. So they were in a world, on Earth before the G1 Ark had. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then they said, oh, by the way, Unicron's coming. And I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, no, one thing I think what Beast Wars had, especially for people like yourself that are they want G1 to only ever be G1 and nothing new to ever come from it. Um, I think it had they rebranded it, had they known where they were going to go at the beginning, like I don't think they did not have an exact plan. By the mid, I think by the middle or the last like quarter of the first season, they knew where they were going to go. Um, because before that it was just episodic adventures. There wasn't an overarching story. After that there was. Um, but I think once they figured it out, they planned it. Okay, this is this it. They knew that it was in the same universe. They knew it was in the future. They just didn't have the tie-in to G1. I think if they rebranded it almost like the Next Generation or something like that, same way Star Trek did, while it's the same continuity but much further in the future. Had that from the beginning, I think there might have been a different feeling for people who feel that way about Beast Wars. Um, Instead of the people who feel like Beast Wars capitalized on G1 just to make itself more mainstream, whereas it felt like an outsider before you actually saw Optimus Prime on screen with them.
Well, and
Like,
that was the catch 22. Remember the time frame of when Beast Wars came out? This was
mhm.
the CGI time. Reboot came out, remember? And
Yeah, reboot was
Beast
first.
Wars. Mainframe Entertainment at the time had a freaking monopoly on it. Everybody wanted to see CGI stuff because
Hmm.
after X-Men ended in 1994 and Spider-Man ended, that was the last real animated shows we had. It really was, because CGI started taking over even in small amounts after that.
Well,
Because
the DC animated universe kept going.
yes, but DC
To be
animated,
fair.
they yes, but like just like you had Batman the animated series, you had
Hmm.
Superman Adventures, which
Hmm.
got corny real fast.
Yes, it did.
Um,
But it was
um,
still good.
but that still actually had hints of CGI. It wasn't all hand drawn anymore, into it as well.
I would
They're
I would
not.
I would argue I would just argue that it wasn't until Batman Beyond that they really started playing with CGI on that. But it was
Yes.
mostly that. But Justice League and Justice League Unlimited had a little bit, but not but they weren't like a full CG show. They were still hand
No.
drawn cells and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I think that that's a difference versus what Beast Wars did to Transformers versus that or to animated series. They took it. How am I saying this? I think the reason why people hate Beast Wars, hate it being a loose term, is they feel like it bastardized G1, or they just took what G1 they took the nostalgia of G1 just to boost themselves, and maybe that's a good argument, but um, they also grew Transformers.
Mhm.
They explored Sparks. They explored more lore. They actually expanded the universe itself into being more that we never even considered. Um, and it became part of canon. Like it became something that mattered. Like, why did Optimus Prime die and was able to come back? Why was Starscream a ghost that could live on forever? That kind of stuff was now addressed 15 years later. In a completely what started out as an unrelated series. So, I mean, in my mind, because I was younger than you when it came out, so I was head over heels for it. And even though I love G1, um, it had a different effect on me than you, for instance.
Well, and that's the catch 22. You bring up a good point, is that it did expand a lot on the Transformers universe. This was the first entity that actually did that because before then, there was no Beavis After River. This is 1995.
Hmm.
Okay, the internet was an infant at that point.
Yeah.
It was if you wanted to find out about TV or something, you had a TV guide, you had a newspaper,
Yep.
or if you were word of mouth from a comic book store or something, hey, there's a new show you might want to go watch. It's going to be whatever. And so it started explaining a lot of things out there, especially when BotCon 1996 showed up. When that BotCon showed up, and then they brought in Beast Wars and they were exploiting it, and showing this is what Beast Wars is. Here's G1 stuff. Here's things. Here are things combining. And then we get talked about the Bible. So you were talking about a roadmap, for Beast
Hmm.
Wars. There was no Bible for Beast Wars. It was five guys and a whiteboard trying to figure it out. uh,
Yeah.
but in the G1
Just-
side, we actually had a Bible, and they had a start to finish. I mean, literally, that Bible was written before even like the movie came out, season three and season four came out. That was written long ago. They knew exactly where they were going with it.
mhm,
And
mhm.
people have to remember too, these cartoons were made to sell toys,
Yes, they were
So
toy commercials.
exactly. So the catch 22 being is that there's a lot of good toys that came out of Beast Wars. There's a lot of crappy ones too. A lot of repaints. I don't know how many rat traps somebody can buy, and how many chrome versions of rat trap you can buy.
I don't know.
Um,
We need to ask Dakota. I'm sure he has all of them. He's got
Probably.
he's got a near complete Beast Wars collection.
But there was a lot of cool figures. Like I still like the Dinobot that came out from the Air Razor. That came
Mhm.
out the Fusers version of Air Razor. There were some good figures that came out. I mean, you look at the Optimus Primal and even the Megatron. I mean, you look at all the accessories and stuff that you got with that Transformer. You don't get half of that now with a modern Transformer. I mean, you're lucky to get one gun with some of your figures now.
Well, that's actually mostly true. But I feel like at least with the Siege line, with the not micromasters, whatever they're calling them, battle masters and stuff like that, they're actually they're coming with new accessories. We're getting effect parts and stuff like that, which has never been a thing. But they do have to come as separate entities, which cost more money. But you're not wrong though, because Beast Wars came with weapons. They came with usually with interactive weapons. They would either shoot a missile or in some cases little water guns, things like that. And then when they get into some of the silly combiner stuff later on that may or may not actually be good, like Tripredicus and stuff like that, even though that was an exclusive, I remember.
Yeah, I had
Uh,
that guy. I think I broke him twice. I had to mismatch parts together to fix them.
yeah, that wasn't a good idea. I didn't say it was a good idea. I just said it was a thing they did. Um, but I don't know. It's like we've been on Beast Wars for a little bit. Um, But
But
the fact that the passion is still there is actually good, even all these years later, because I think eventually Beast Wars became a very well written show. Like it was a great cast. They actually once they got out of the episodic stuff, it got better. It made sense and gave us a good story, and that was the thing that made a difference versus where G1, it was very episodic. It was there was almost never any kind of eventually they would do like 3 or 4 or 5 episode little mini series all over the time, those things like that. But there was never anything that really expanded it or made it feel like, okay, this is all one story. It's like it was just a one long plotting thing that was going on. Like, what's going to happen to Optimus this week? What kind of
yeah,
shenanigans is Bumblebee going to fall into now? That will
well,
Chip ever use his legs again? No. Um,
well, that was the thing was not until after the movie happened did they have a clear kind of hey where we're going with the Transformers G1. And
but
everybody wanted to bring Optimus back, so they brought Optimus back as a freaking zombie. It
three
was
times they brought him back.
exactly.
And every time except for the last time was stupid. And I'm not even going to argue that the last time wasn't stupid.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the 86 movie was actually seen because the sales were dropping and they needed to make new toys. They did the 86 movie to kill off a bunch of cast and bring in new people. And they didn't do enough justice to the characters that we'd grown up on. Wheeljack was killed off screen. We're only
Exactly.
shown his dead body being drug up by either RC or Springer, whichever whoever actually drug his body up. I'm like, come on, like that's the only problem I have with the '86 movie. Like, I was one of those kids who was mildly traumatized by Optimus dying, but the, after that, yeah, they quote unquote evolved things, but then it turned into the same thing. But then with Rodimus going from being somebody who was very sure of himself and powerful to being this self-doubting loser who was supposed to be the new leader, and it's just like, why? That's where it eventually started falling off for me. um but G1 aside, been going between G1 and Beast Wars, What do you think about Transformers Victory, though?
I love Victory. So, I lived in Japan when all those came out. You know,
Okay.
Headmasters, Master Force, and Victory came out.
Hmm.
So I was super excited to learn that, hey, you know, we just ended, you know, season 4 of G1. They're like, hey, we got a new show coming out. It's called Headmasters. And I'm like, what the hell is it going to be about? They're like, well,
Heads.
don't, you know, and it was funny because the guy was explaining, he's like, right off season 4, like season 4 didn't happen. Okay,
Yeah.
then watch Headmasters. And so I did that. You know, I'm like, okay, I get it. They introduced some characters in season 4, but I'm like, when you watch all the Headmasters, that's still one of my favorite series today to watch. Because I love the concept of that, you know, of a guy, you know, becoming the head and becoming the head of a Transformer, you know. Especially Six Shot. You know, Six Shot was one of my favorite characters.
Hmm.
But then Master Force came out. You know, we got Power Master, Super Genrai. You know, we got Overlord out of that. You know, and then we had Zarek and the Black Zarek, and then Victory showed up. And holy crap! You know, when Star Saber showed up, Death Saurus that showed up, Victory Leo. You know, and then when they made you know, when they finally made Victory Saber that first time, I was like, this is freaking awesome. You know, and that's sort of like, and I'm like, I can't wait to get the toys, and I never got those toys. This is from G1. They were I could never find those. So it was kind of cool when now, you know, flash forward 20 years ahead, we have masterpiece versions of those characters,
Yeah.
which is what I love. Like I've got them, I've got an Overlord now, I've got a Super Genrai, you know, so it's like I've got the guys I really want. Like I still have a G1 Super Genrai from Takara.
Yeah.
And it's older than crap, and it still luckily has all of its chrome and its stickers still on it.
That's
Um,
impressive. Now, so wait, the last time we talked, you said you were still wanting Power Baser, so you eventually got him, or
I
that?
got a black one. I want a red
Oh,
one.
okay. So you've got the evil version. Okay, I was gonna say, is like you
He's
mentioned you
not
wanted
the
Power
evil
Baser.
version. He's the Nucleon Quest version.
Oh my God, whatever. Oh, by the way, I need to ask you. This is as a little aside here. So it's something we sort of touched on before, but I need it for a future project. What is the proper windshield color for Shattered Glass Optimus?
Shattered Glass Optimus should be purple.
No, the windshield.
The
Should he?
windshield.
Should it be
Oh,
yellow or
that should
green?
be. That is. It's like a forest green color, I think.
Okay, so it should be a green. Okay, because I've got.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got and you've seen it, the DX9 version, and it's
Yeah.
yellow. It's like a gold yellow color. It's kind of urine if we're gonna be honest. But I've got the other one over here I borrowed from Thomas Rice, and it's got the kind of show it to
Yeah.
the microphone. So he's got the gold windshields, but green lights.
Yeah.
So, but then the MP has more greenish. And I need to know this for projects. I need to know what the proper windshield color is. The
Now,
now the
is
purple
that
has been in dispute for a while.
well? The true answer though is the original Shattered Glass. You know, from BotCon. To find an image of that and look at its windshield.
But wait, what is this one then? What is this guy?
That was a second release of it. That the original one, if you
Hmm.
remember the classics Optimus Prime
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
had the swoop wind vane, you know, it
Uh-huh,
had
uh-huh, uh-huh.
there was that was the original Shattered Glass version. That Shattered Glass one would be the one I'd go off of.
Okay.
So after we get done, I'll see if I can find an image of it too. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, because I've looked. Nightwalker says a jade green, no. But like I said, I
Yeah.
just because you've told me before that the MP is a little too purple.
Yes.
He should technically look like a maroonish color. Like he's supposed to be like it's supposed to be a dark version of the red, which I think the DX9 is closer to.
Hmm.
But the DX9 has green lights but yellow windshield. So I'm wondering if I should just go with the yellow or goldish yellow windshield with the green lights for what I need to do.
I would definitely at least a dark yellow out of it. You know, if not like a forest green, like you know, in kind of in between that would be your. I'm not gonna say mustard yellow, but you know, something like that. You know, it's like it needs to
It's
be a
it's
lot
pea
darker.
it's pea color. Let's just be
Yeah,
honest. It's like you went. It's like slightly dehydrated color. Either way, like
exactly.
that was a quick aside because I need to know. I mean, I'm not going to be upset one way or the other. I just don't want other people to be like, "No, you've got the wrong color for that." I was like, look, it's just back off. But either way, all right, we've been on Transformers for a little bit. Should we change it up a little? Do you have more
Exactly.
questions since we've?
I do. I got a shit ton of questions,
Let's
but
go. Let's go. I
uh,
want to get off Transformers for a minute because we're like we've been on that deep end for a little.
um, and so we actually answered a good chunk of them. But this is a personal. I know you don't like favorite questions, so
That's fine.
have a
I don't like favorites on my channel. You can do whatever you want on yours.
so I have a favorite question. So out of all those Gundams behind you, what is your favorite one?
That was a little glitchy, but I got your question. So, what is my favorite thing back here behind me?
What is your favorite Gundam out of all your collection?
That's
And
okay.
go pick it out and show the viewers.
Do you know how hard that might be? Because some of
Well,
my things are not easy to get to. Um,
my channel, my question.
God damn it!
Go to.
Sorry, I nearly pulled everything off my desk with my cord here. Um, this would have been a good thing to let me know ahead of time.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it's nothing over there because it's going to be a lot harder to get to. Uh, Also, I just noticed a bunch of stuff has fallen over. I need to fix.
That's how my
Uh,
legends were yesterday.
huh?
That's how my legends were yesterday. They were all fell over.
Oh, I just noticed that my blue Psycho Ranger has fallen off the shelf again. He perpetually lives on the floor. Um, Hold on. Okay, so I know it's nothing over there because I can't get into that one. Well, okay,
You can
so
do
this might be a multi-part answer because it's hard to pick out one because there's favorites by series, there's favorite by build, and then there's favorites by custom because I do have my own customs. Um,
it.
so
Well,
I'll start. Hold on, I'll start with my favorite. Let me make sure that yeah. I'll just say it's definitely. It should say it's my favorite. It's my mascot of my channel, basically. Um, Hold on, I gotta take my headphones off. And I'm sorry if anybody sees my butt.
oh God, here
Or
goes my
well, I don't care if
channel.
Judd does. If Judd does, just look at it,
I don't
Judd.
like it.
I'm gonna get two things while I'm in here. Okay. Hold on. Also, I have nowhere to set anything because my review desk is a mess. Sorry, it's not a desk; it's a table. I still have to make that shirt from that live stream.
Yeah, you do, man.
I still need to make that shirt. Thomas Rice was supposed to be helping me out with that, and he did not get around to it. Okay, so the pretty much my favorite custom, and it's one I did a couple years ago, and I'm still very proud of it. It's my Graze Karibata. So it's a custom Graze from the IBO series, and I'm going to do what I can to show you because my camera only wants to do whatever it wants. So this thing was a custom build, custom kit bash, somewhat scratch buildery to the point that I even came up with a whole story behind it. So it's supposed to be a custom version of the Grays that's been tuned up and supercharged to be able to keep up with the Gundams. And Kuribata translates to dark grasshopper because you see the big old swords hanging off his sides,
Hmm.
look kind of like grasshopper wings. And the idea is if you hear the song of this grasshopper, you're already dead. Because the vibration from the engines and the speeds it can move at actually cause the blades to vibrate,
Flutter. Yeah.
actually vibrate and put out a sound. So I took me about 3 weeks to build it because I had to kit bash. There's so much work on this. So let's see here. The backpack is somewhat customized. It's actually made from two different Gray's backpacks fused together. The swords alone actually are made from a sword kit that are actually made for MGs, and I actually had them to where they're hilted directly into the side skirts. These leg thrusters back here are actually the shoulder armor off a totally different Gray's kit, and they are posable and everything like that. The the ankle armors are actually helmets from other Grazes. The big blades here on the chest are actually the claw blades from the Schwalbe Greys. It was actually a blade you could shoot out like a harpoon. And then I took three of the chest vent thingies, and that's how I made the like yellow ribs you see there. And then even the gun is a custom kit bash of random Greys parts. And the crotch skirt is actually the middle of the crotch is actually from one Greys that did not have movable crotch skirts, and so I actually drilled out the holes to add the movable crotch skirts from a different one. So this is the one that I've spent like so much time on, and I painted it in 3 days because I had to get it done for. It wasn't a contest; it was it was like a grunt build thing because basically Greys is their grunt suit.
Mhm.
And it wasn't a contest. It was just everybody build your thing and submit it, and we're going to show them off. Basically, it's almost like a builder showcase that I would have. But I had to paint it in 3 days, and I was running out of time. And in fact, I need to strip and repaint the back skirt because I ran out of. Do I have? I might actually have the paint that I can actually do it. Now that I've thought about it, because I ran out of gunmetal paint before, and I had forgotten the back skirt. It was sitting on the last little thing still where all the parts were. I totally missed it. I put everything back together and the back skirt is still sitting there waiting to be painted, and I was out of paint. So I ran to Hobby Lobby, which was around the corner, and all they had was testers. Everything else was Tamiya paints. And I grabbed the Tamiya metallic black, and it's so ugly. It does not paint the same. If you're a model builder, you'll know different paints apply differently. And testers applies super heavy. Even though I did light coats, it went on super heavy and super ugly. To me, it goes on in light coats and looks perfect.
Yep.
So now I might actually strip that and repaint it. But in that same vein of that being my favorite, this is one of my favorite accomplishments as well. So it's another Greys. It's gonna be hard to see because of the color. So this is a Greys Ritter. It's not modified, it's just custom painted. Normally this is a like teal green color. You can see it's a massive color change, right?
Mhm.
I built and painted this in 4 hours for a
Holy crap!
contest. So it was a speed build competition at the eSig Vapor Lounge over here in Humble. It was a New Year's deal. Was it New Year's? No, it wasn't a New Year's deal. New Year's Grand Prix was later. And it was a 4 hour contest. You could choose whatever kit you wanted to build. Come in, it had to be sealed and everything like that, and you could do whatever you wanted as long as you got it done in 4 hours. That's what I got done in 4 hours. So, and I came in second place by only like 1 point. Like, so I lost by 1 point. I know exactly why. And like, it was because I didn't have time to do a lot of cleanup around edges and stuff like that. And I was legit. The guy who won, we talked after the fact, and he's like, dude, as soon as I saw you bust out that tub of paints, I about shit myself. I was like, so I have my build, I have my normal building little shelves I
Mhm.
have, or drawers. I brought my whole big fishing tackle box of paint stuff, and I just went bop on the thing, and I started bringing out everything. I brought my hair dryer, I brought a box to work in. And so I was like legit, like I plugged in up front where I could find a cord, and I would step outside, paint what I needed to, hopped back in, hit it with the hair dryer, set it aside, do the next thing. Um, you built the Barbatos Lupus Rex
Yep.
recently, so you know how that has like a full inner frame and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the HG side, which is what this is, they also have inner frames on these, which is absurd on an HG. So it has
Mhm.
almost a complete inner frame. HGs usually only have the joints, and then you put the armor around everything else. So it's just your knees, just your elbows, nothing in between. These have a full inner frame, from the torso through the arms all the way down to the legs. The feet are the only thing that technically aren't there. Um, I had the inner frame done and ready for paint in 45 minutes because this
Damn.
this was the eighth one that I had built already. So more than I have anything else in my collection. I don't know because I just completed two more. I have more than a dozen Grays kits in my collection. So you could tell I knew what I was doing when I started. So that's why I picked this one, because I knew I could at least get it built. So the other day, and this is a teaser for my channel, I've got two P Bandai Grays kits coming up for review. Actually, I need to review them tomorrow. I casually put it together in 3 hours the other day. Like just no instructions. Just I was like, I know what I'm doing. I was like, just set the instructions aside. I'm just just very casually just putting it together. If I wanted to blow through it, I could. But on the custom side, like I said, that's probably my favorite. Um, now, I don't know that it's my favorite kit, but it's one of my favorite suits. Give me a second. It's going to be hard to get out because it's behind some stuff.
Yep.
I guess I may
Well,
as well
he's
put
getting
these away
back.
while I'm there, huh?
While he's trying to find it, everybody in the chat, thank you guys for
Can't
coming
hear
tonight.
you.
We definitely appreciate you, each and every one of you. Um, yeah, Jed says you need to paint your back skirt. Um, uh, yeah, Dial says it reminds him of Robotech. And yes, Robotech, for as most people that don't know, was the bastardized version of Macross in the U.S., combined with New Masters and so it was a Century and then Mospita. But yes, Robotech. Um, no, not in my household. Macross from my house. But yeah, the cool part being is that I started doing some of these kits as well. And literally, I was showing Kevin as I was going through it. Um, and some of them I speed built pretty easily. Some took a little bit longer. That damn the freaking RX 782 still today took me the longest to build correctly, just because of the way the kit was built. But Kevin was kind of talking about HG versus MG. I only do master grade stuff, so that's kind of the difference. Is that a lot of them I like doing. I like having those inner workings. I like seeing the inner mechanized pieces of it, and I just want a damn char from the origin be done.
Okay. Oh yeah, you want the Char Zaku from that. Okay, so not Origin, but definitely a Char flavored thing. And I say flavored because it wasn't Char piloting it. So I have the Master Grade Sinanju OVA version, and I did this kit back in 2013, and it was one of my favorite ones. One, it's just an absolute gorgeous
That's
mobile
a
suit.
beast.
Yeah, and it's one of the bigger ones. So this was the counterpoint to the unicorn, basically. But one of the reasons why it's one of my favorites, other than the fact it's okay, hold on. I was about to contradict myself. It's a pain in my ass because it's old, well, old comparatively, and it yeah, yes, it is huge, Nightwalker. The hardest thing about these particular kits is they cannot hold their weapons worth a damn.
Yeah,
Because they use a very small peg in the palm and then the fingers close around it, but that's the only thing holding it. So this giant bazooka gun that's hanging out here is glued into the hand, and the hand is glued into the wrist peg because it's so heavy. Like this joint, see how quick it just went whoop.
yep.
So it likes to be at that angle. But there it goes. So you can see the gun. This is not the colors this is supposed to be. I hand painted this gun with all these colors, with the silver and I think they call it a frame gray. It's almost a bluish gray color. And now he's never going to hold it in that position again. But this thing is absolutely beautiful, and it is absolutely a fiddly mess.
Yeah.
Especially years on. But this particular kit has so many moving parts. Like you can see, I'm kind of hard to maneuver things here. The knee joints here. So you can see the extra armor parts. There goes the gun. He didn't want you to see those moving arm parts. See what I did? I moved that
No,
for
but
you.
no,
That's
looking.
one part. So it when you move it, like all the different knee parts start separating. You've got little things like this shoulder armor that's falling off. Um, why is that coming apart? Like I said, it's been a while since I even messed with this. The wings back here. Maybe I should just move my camera ever so slightly. Just move that. Okay, so we can see. So these wing parts back here, not only do they pivot in and out, what you can open them and the boosters slide in and out mechanically. Um, Though it does have a lot of problems because the hoses down here on the waist,
Mm.
they're probably nearly impossible to see. I can't grip this thing. Here we go. Okay. So the hoses there on the waist. Damn shield is too many parts. Those things are actually on top of springs. So the little ring parts go over the springs
Uh,
and has a very, very small tab holding them in on the other side. So occasionally it'll just go bling and it'll be
and bye
happy
bye
to see
pieces.
you. No, actually they don't come apart. They just come off of the peg where they're supposed to sit in place. So down here on the crotch skirts. Like I said, it looks like he's happy to see you.
Mhm.
I did end up gluing those in place, but now I'm gonna have to tighten up this arm a little bit with some sprue goo. Um, but yeah, the whole shoulder armor came off of its hinge. Hold on, that's what I couldn't see from that angle. Are you gonna cooperate? Or are you gonna completely fall apart on me? I can already sense the answer.
We broke
Eh,
his toy on my channel.
Yes, you did. But this thing is one of my favorite suits in general, and I did it when Unicorn was still new. So I built it. I built the Unicorn, which is over there, and the next shelf over. So what I used to have was a UC shelf, like the main Gundam shelf. So it was the Grandpa, it was the Mark II, and then Unicorn, and then I had the Charzaku, the Sazabi, and the Sinanju, which are basically just the evolutions of those suits, more or less. Oh, and then the new Gundam as well. Um, but yeah, no, it's one of my favorite designs ever, and this is back when I was still a newbie. So I did a little bit of shading on him with the Gundam markers, which is nearly impossible to see now. Um, and then all the silver and stuff like that is painted on with Gundam marker. The gold is actually all stickers, which is a big pain in the butt.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
stay, stay, please stay, please stay. It might stay. Don't look at it.
Well, get an SH stand and put it underneath it.
Yeah, no. I'll just end up tightening up the elbow with some sprue goo or something else. And if you don't know what sprue goo is, it's literally just where's my it's in the living room. But here's a sample of it that I'm playing with. So it's actually where's the clear side of the jar? So it's actually runner melted in thin cement or
Mm.
Tamiya cement. And so it's literally like liquid sprue that can glue itself into place. And I just started this earlier. I'm trying to obviously make myself some clear green to play with. Um, and that's nearly to a usable state. So I'm considering casting my own parts from spare sprues that I have laying around. So, but it's good for doing things like this, or instead of having putty, like I've been using on my local type that I'm working on, to fill in gaps and stuff like that, where I was using super glue and then filing it down, which is really, really tough. The gun is right in the middle of my face here. It's like I'm looking at the camera. It's right in
It's
the
a
middle of my
shooting
face.
nose off.
He's trying to shoot my nose off. But sprue goo, literally, it's new, basically new plastic in place, and so it'll completely fill in gaps and stuff like that. Which is just, I've literally been playing with it like for the last few days, and it's working out very nicely. I don't know. There's, I can't dig him out. He's too buried in there.
But just tell us what it is.
Well, there's a version is a it's one of the Gundams from IBO. It's the Calamity War version of Floros, Gundam Floros. And he the way the colors are, so Floros in the series, after they recover it, they repaint in a pink color, because that's just how Shino rolls. He refers to himself, or he refers to all of his suits as Ryusei Go, which is Crimson Comet, or Red Comet. So he's kind of calling himself the Char of that universe.
I don't
Uh,
care.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you've seen IBO, right? Or
Mm.
at least part of it. But the Calamity War version of Floros is its stock colors, its original colors, which is a white and a blue, and it looks so pretty. It's like one of my favorite things. It's so nice, and I put extra stickers on it to make it look better. Um, but he's down there. He's buried in my IBO shelf, which is way too crammed. So I've got this. This is why I need more details. So I've got two complete shelves of IBO. So two full shelves that are nothing but IBO HGs. Then above that, I've got a shelf that is at least half IBO HGs. And then over here, oh, hey, there's another one that's half IBO. And then if I come over here, oh wait, there's another whole shelf. So I've got roughly four and a half shelves of just IBO HGs, and that's before I add the ones that I just built. So that's why I've got to do, and that's not including the 1/100s I've got that are still sitting up there waiting to be customized. You can tell
Now,
I
what are
like
the
IBO.
scales on those HGs? Are those 1/100s or 1/144s?
What do you mean?
For your HGs, what scale are those?
Oh, those are all 1/144. So HG generally refers to as 1/144. The only
Yeah.
time there were very few high grade 1/100s, but those were all in the 90s. Those are the old kits. I really need to move this thing. It's making me nervous.
I was saying, what you put your toy away?
Let me go put it away. He's pointed at me.
That
And
way
if,
it
if
doesn't
there's one
break on you anymore.
if there's one more that comes to me while I'm putting that away, I'll grab it too.
Okay. That's what she said.
But guys, of course, subscribe to ShokyReviews where you can see all the reviews for all these kits.
Exactly. Yeah, so I've got 3 Gundam kits. Like literally. Now I speed built. I don't know how many kits was it, Kevin? I think I did what, 5 kits in 3 days. Um, and literally I had a blast doing it. And it was definitely hard to do because I haven't done a Gundam kit in probably 15 years. The last Gundam kit I did before I did these 3 master grades was the Zaku 2. And that was an HG back then I done. And it was a pain then and it was a pain now, but now it makes more sense now that I'm older. Because of the engineering that's done on these master grades. Because let me go grab the one I just did. Um,
Oh,
I
so
hope
he's showing off his builds now. Gotta show off that Origin Master Grade.
I'll show that off next, but that's not the one I just did.
Oh, the wing. Yeah, I forgot about the wing.
So this is the Wing Gundam, of course, and this is the one that actually transforms.
Right here. You see right there.
Yeah.
I'm pointing at my own. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Wing 0.
Yep.
Regular wing is up here playing around.
Yeah. So yeah, this was. I will tell you, I'm not going to transform it again.
Don't.
I did it once. It's just like a lot of Transformers. You do it once, and then you're done. Just to say you've done it. But yeah, this went right back in the note. But I will say, this was fun to build. This was like one of the most intuitive ones I've done.
Are you missing? Are you missing part of that guy? Hold him up again.
No, he's out here. Nope, shield.
Oh, I know what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the foot of the other one behind it. I was like, it looks like there's red missing off the wings, and it's because there's a foot. Okay, so like right on over the left wing, right there, the little center section of the wing, there's the guy's foot is right there. So I was like, why? It looks like you're missing a piece of red there. No, that okay. You want to talk about terrible transformation though? Try the wing gun or hold on, I gotta get the name right. Wing Gundam Fenice Renashita. If that's from Build Fighters.
Yeah.
It is okay. It's roughly the same transformation, but there's so much more to the Gundam itself. Like because it's a custom, it has so much more going on. It's a huge pain in the butt, and I leave it in bird mode now, so you can't get it to stand. In fact, my Wing Zero, my Proto Zero stays in Gundam mode. I don't put it in Neo Bird mode because it's a pain in the butt.
The hard part, like the only bad thing about this one, this is the only flaw I found with this guy. Is right here. And this damn back butt plate comes off.
That comes off decently. Yeah, that is a problem. I remember that being a problem. Now, which stand are you using for him? Are you just using a crotch stand?
It didn't come with a stand.
No, I'm saying, but what do you have him on?
Nothing. He stands on his own.
Oh, I don't know why I'm thinking you have a stand. I'm craziness. Because the later versions come with a. Because he's the first, so therefore he's got to be the worst engineered. The Proto Zero and even the Wing Zero Custom have a backpack adapter that actually basically holds the backpack itself. And so you can pose them in different things. But then he also has a that's a butt skirt adapter though. It's a crotch adapter.
This little so this was supposed to be part. It showed that it's supposed to be part of a flight adapter.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, no,
no. Well, I mean, it works, but you got to have the stand for it. But the later ones actually use a whole new kind of a it's almost a cradle that goes around the backpack and plugs in. Oh wait,
Yeah.
no. What am I thinking? Hold on. Oh, that's for flight mode. Flight mode has that. They actually have in the backpack and the later ones. They have a, for lack of a better term, a post. And it comes with an adapter that just clips onto that post on the backpack instead of from the crotch, so you don't get the flip flop from the waist that usually happens with the crotch adapters. And that's one benefit of the engineering over time that you do get. Like my and you've seen it because you're a friend of mine. My Wing Zero Noel, my
Yeah.
Christmas Gundam, my tree topper uses that backpack adapter instead. So that way his legs are free to dangle and he can get the cool, pose. Or I feel, is he holding the candy cane still? Yes, he's still holding the candy cane from Christmas. Okay, so I replaced the gun with a candy cane, and that is one of my favorites too because I painted that one and put it on the Christmas tree. That was on our very first Christmas tree together in our first apartment because we moved in right before. We didn't move it. Yeah, did we ever move in right? Yeah, our first apartment we moved in a little bit before Christmas. So the very first thing we did was put up Christmas decorations. We weren't even unpacked, and we were putting up Christmas decorations. So one of the very first things I put up in our apartment was my custom Christmas Gundam. And I still haven't made my Patriot Prime reviews. What's up, buddy?
Hey, bro.
I sees you in the comments. I was trying to think if there's any other favorites I might have while we're still on that topic. One thing he's over there, so I can't really pull him out. But you watched IBO to a degree.
Yeah.
The mobile armor,
Hmm.
the big bird guy.
Yeah.
Uh, if you haven't seen my review or my pictures of that, which I'm guessing most of your audience has not,
Oh no.
I weathered it. Yeah, I did a little tiny bit of custom paint details, but then I weathered the crap out of mine, and it's so pretty. Like
Mhm.
because it in the episode it came out, it literally came out of the ground. It was unburied, so it would come out filthy. And I'm proud of it. And even though it's not a great kit, there's not a lot to it, and it's expensive and it's huge, but it's sitting over there. And if we ever do a follow up to this, I will show off. And I may have sent you pictures of it, my custom local type, and what I'm doing with it. Um, I want to show that off again because it will be my new favorite thing. Before I send it off to the guy who won it, who's been waiting on it for a year now. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it for the favorite Gundams, I guess. Now, favorite non-Gundam builds, if we're gonna go there. And I covered this
No.
in my. No, we're not doing that.
No.
Fine, I won't do it until you ask.
No, because I already know it's plain toys, just like mine.
No, actually, it wasn't. It was not. It was not.
All right, what
It
is it?
was the figurized standard Common Rider build.
Okay, I've done some of the figurized ones. I did some of the Dragon Ball ones. Those are made pretty
Yes.
well together, but you got to use some serious glue on some of those pieces, though. I mean, they do not
On
like to stick
on
together.
those. On the Dragon Balls, yes. On the Common Rider, it's so good. And the details. I mean, I did paint some of the details on, but like his driver, I had to paint the details on that because the stickers weren't worth it. But I'm gonna end up getting the Geo. I'm gonna get the Kamen Rider Geo kits too when they come out, soon, or they should be out by now. And I'm really hoping they do Kamen Rider Ghost because he's one of my favorites. But I like
Yes.
that line. I really like that line. But the Flame toys, yes, they're good only because I customized them. If they weren't customized, they would not be that good.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
being
say, like,
I'm being honest.
I've got the Optimus, and I'm waiting on my Nemesis Prime to get here. But that Optimus, there's pieces and parts that fall off of it all the time. You're
Shoulders.
like, oh yeah, there's oh damn, I glued those together.
Where the shoulders just drop out of their slots.
Exactly, the front parts fall off, and then the
Huh?
side, like the whole thing just fall. I was like, screw this. I glued all that crap together,
Yeah, I did
and
too.
left it to
Well,
where I could take the whole shoulder part off.
I didn't. Well, and here's one thing I learned because I didn't realize this when I built the kits. With the regular Optimus, he gets some stress marks because it's red thin plastic, but it's ABS, and I tried using Tamiya cement on it, and it doesn't necessarily work. It will melt it, but not to a fusion degree. It'll just melt it. So I just weathered over the stress marks. But the Nemesis, and you've seen it.
Mhm.
I did I did a much better job on it. I'm not gonna lie, and it's dead sexy. But I say my Starscream is sexier, and my IDW Prime is sitting here waiting to get painted. What?
I want that. I've
You got to be
always
jealous
been
to
about
some
that.
degree.
I want that IDW Prime, but I want to see their Megatron done first. You know,
But you've seen it though, right?
I've seen it, but until I see it for pre-order, I'm not going to do it.
Okay. I want the Megatron, but I'm not letting it go at that crappy gray plastic. Even though I know he technically should be gray, mine's going to be two or a couple different versions of silver. Because it's Megatron. I want that G1 toy chrome silver look. I mean, he's not going to be chromey, but he's going to be silver. If he's got the curly cues, that's that G1 toy to
Yeah,
me. So mine's going to be the same silver that I've done with the rest of them, except to add a difference. I'm going to add a flat coat to some parts of it to change it up. It's still going to be the same silver, but it'll change the look of it. Because the silver leaf I use is actually it's bright, but it's not chromy looking. So I'm going to have to dumb it down a little bit.
and no
But
swirly gray, right? No
hmm?
swirly gray stuff.
No, that's the thing though. They've been good. Even their metallic colors, when actually because the Nemesis Prime has a metallic black.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just black. He's metallic black. You'll see the flakes in him, which is why I didn't have to do a whole lot of weathering and chipping to him because he already has some metallic look to him. For the most part, their plastics are good and they're ABS, which is different.
Yeah,
But that's where you run into some problems. Um, and I'll cover that a little bit more whenever I get Thundercracker because he's going to need so much paint work unless they reorganize their runners, which I don't see them reorganizing their runners completely to get color separation. So Thundercracker and Skywarp are going to need so much paint work to make them look right. And that's
yeah.
the thing. They've only shown painted versions. They have not shown the unpainted version. Um, in the IDW Prime that I've got sitting here, I know needs some paint work to make him accurate, like the stripes on the arms and stuff like that,
Mhm.
which I'm sure are stickers, but I'm not using those because I'm better than that. Let's just be honest here. Because I have masking tape, I don't need stickers. Um, and Sean Love would agree with me on that one, I think. Um,
See,
so
I'm
that's
lazy. I did all the stickers. 'Cause I'm not good at painting, and that's kind of the problem. Is that
well,
since I can't paint worth a crap,
uh-huh.
I always just do the stickers. And I would take the little bitty screw, those little yellow ones that goes on the freaking
The
headlights.
ones for the lights, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And I will tell you this: they might actually, you know what? They might stick well to the regular plastic surface. Those stickers don't like going on paint. I will tell you that.
no.
Do you know the dumb little headlight or the top light stickers on Prime?
Yep.
I had to paint all those with a gold paint instead because the stickers wouldn't stay.
See,
Because I had weathered over it. Same thing with Nemesis. Nemesis, I had to do that too. Wait, yeah, I did. Okay. I don't remember. It's like, you know how much I've done since I painted those? But the big old stickers for the axes, I wasn't about to use because that's a whole lot of sticker to screw up if you miss. And I
that's
hate
why I
that.
use these.
No, I've got tweezers. But like if you get the alignment off on one edge, you won't know it until you fold it over and then you're like
Or the
so
best
I
part,
just painted mine.
when you take the little bit of the light off, but it's still stuck to the backing, and the
Yeah.
backing has two
Yeah.
is two, and you're just like pulling your hair out because you're just
They,
trying to get that little bitty piece of
yes.
paper on the back of it off.
I had that we had that problem when Thomas Rice and I did the we did the sticker sheet for Power of the Primes Predaking. We
Hmm.
had that same problem, but you're talking about like the big like wing stickers for Razor Claw, and you're sitting there, not Razor Claw, the other, either way, you know what I mean. Uh, and having to separate it, like I got good at it because it's what I do. Like he was struggling and wanting to give up. But yeah, where they die cut it just a little too far and it cut into the
Yep.
backing instead of that. No, now flame toys are getting better.
Hmm.
And that well with their model kits, I should say, their regular figures, other than the hands on Tarn, apparently are they're top notch. I still haven't bought Tarn because I don't have $400 to just blow on one thing. I want it like there's no tomorrow, and I almost bought it. But then I bought a Switch. It's like I bought a if I had not bought that Switch for Christmas, I would have a Tarn in my possession. Um,
So I played with Tarn and Drift. They are freaking awesome figures, as
Hmm.
far as articulation, which is the the only reason why I didn't buy it because they don't transform.
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they're great display. But like I had the Hot Toys Optimus Prime, it looks good. It articulates freaking phenomenally, but it doesn't transform, and there's not a lot that goes with them. I mean, that's the thing is like Flame Toys.
They're their own scale.
I mean, you're talking, it's like this big, for
Hmm.
Tarn,
Yeah.
and unless they're going to do the rest of the DJD to go with him, these are one-off characters, from toys.
I think that they're basically going to stick in the IDW world. Because I think even their Star Saber is basically the IDW Star Saber. Um,
So,
so I think they'll get there eventually. I really do. Their Prime is pushing a little bit of creativity though, like the figure, not the model kit. So
yeah,
it's IDW mostly, but it fits in with their same aesthetic, so it works. It's the same kind of Japanese continuity instead. Um, but I'm not upset with it. I mean, uh, and for a super high end figure that lights up and is massively it's articulated like a masterpiece or perfect grade Gundam.
yeah.
So I'm thinking, and I don't know that I can prove this because I've held both. To me, they grabbed a Gundam designer because you can look at any figure across any third party line. They don't have the engineering, none of them, not one, um, that the Flame Toys figures do. But if you look at a Masterpiece Gundam, if you look at uh the master grade Hainu Verka, that's the level of engineering you have in that drift. Not just that he looks like a Gundam, because he does. He's definitely got that look, but the way that the armor moves when you bend the knees and things come apart, things fold out in the same way that they do on a Gundam. And like I said, it's not just aesthetic, it's the engineering. So I'm guessing they definitely stole somebody that used to work at Bandai. They,
Oh, I
they it
guarantee you.
has to be. It has to be the way things move. And the one thing I will give them over almost anything is the swappable hands are the best thing on the planet because uh,
Oh, as I say, I love. I mean, to me, a lot of people get kind of mad about parts for me,
mhm.
with swappable hands and stuff. I'm all for that. That gives me options. Now I will tell you on that Gundam, which one? This one. This one,
Yes.
damn thing. These hands suck. They royally suck.
I will let you in on a secret. Those are not even the worst hands. Because okay, well, those hands aren't great because I know they have other master grade hands. Was I saying masterpiece the whole time when I was
You
pointing at?
were.
Damn it, man! You should call me on that master
No.
grade. Well, shut up. Anyways, they have like the ones I was telling you about. Sinanju, very small peg in the hand, and that just slots into a tiny, deep, shallow groove in the weapons. And with a giant gun like that, it's just going to go black. The double O Gundams, the double O MGs back here behind me, every single one of them uses that exact same kind of connector, and it's terrible. Now, if you get into Kotobukiya, which I have one or two of them between these two shelves, they have swappable hands. They don't have
Mm.
posable hands. Oh, excuse me. They do slide in. It's just a straight peg, goes in, doesn't click in or anything like that. They've got some that are made specifically for holding weapons so that they will clamshell around the weapon and hold it really nice and tight. And then they have expressive hands. They've got like some open palm hands. They've got
Mm.
some fists. They even have like uh, one of them has like a 45-degree like kink for holding a
Right.
gun under the armpit, which Gundams don't have, and that is the most useful thing that they could possibly need, especially for Sinanju and Sazabi, that both hold gigantic guns that they can't hold like properly. Sazabi has like a big kind of shotgun-y gun, and because of how big his armor is around his wrist, the gun hits it and kind of kinks it like this, You
to
know,
the side.
and then when you try to tuck it under the arm, you have to twist and contort to get it actually to hold it properly. And if they just gave you that little kink out with a 45-degree bend, no problem. It would hold it perfect. And but no, Bandai is way too proud to do what other people do. That being said, the where are we? Masterpiece. God damn it, Master Grade
I want you all night that way.
every night or every time. Master Grade 3.0 Grandpa Gundam and a few others in that generation. We refer to them as the 3.0 hands, but that's not necessarily what they are. They are fully articulated fingers. They come already assembled on the runner. Like all you do is you clip everything out and then you turn them to the right position and then
Yep. My
softly flex
Origin's
them.
got that.
Oh, the Origin had that. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has the flip down peg
Yep.
in the palm, and the weapon has the opposite peg, and they slot together. Best design they've ever come up with, and they almost never use it.
Yep.
And it's made specifically for Universal Century Gundams of that generation. So it doesn't do anyone any good that they kept that engineering to one specific design and have not put it across any other lines.
Well, the only problem though is that the digit. Like I've got one digit that falls
Uh-huh.
off every
Uh-huh.
5 seconds.
I assume it's the pinky, probably.
Yep,
You're
it's a
pointing. You're
pinky.
pointing at the pinky. I've just assumed.
Yep,
No, that the way that little tiny hinge is engineered, if you pop it off once, it's never going to stay.
yep.
I had a guy at the last Gundam meet I went to. He was building the Sinanju Stein Verka that uses those hands, and I had to walk him through. It was only his fourth kit ever, so he was being real ginger with it, and we had to figure out some of the engineering in that kit that made no sense with the directions. So it was a learning experience for both of us. But when it came to those hands, he was like, okay, what do I do? So I carefully walked him through cutting out the fingers so you don't accidentally cut off something you need, which would be super easy. You saw how those things are.
Oh yeah.
And then I told him, I was like, okay, look, if you're going to, you need to hold the whole finger and then rotate it, like hold the base of the hand and hold the whole finger. Then you rotate it. And then you use the curvature of your thumb and just slowly flex the finger back into place. The hardest part, and I haven't had a lot of like digits or knuckles pop. I've had it to where it comes out at the base of the finger where it connects to the
Yeah.
hand, that ball joint, because there
Yeah.
is a hinge. It's a ball joint and a hinge. Getting that hinge to move on its own is hard, but you're
Mm-hmm.
never going to get a proper fist if you don't. And that's where you got to like hold the base ball joint with super tight grip and then just kind of just kink it over. And that's something you can only learn with doing it several times. Got it. Oh, Nightwalker got to glue them stickers on. No.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
was kind of the catch for me is when I did that one, like literally that was the first hand I did,
Mhm.
and it already fell off in the box. Like it was
Yep.
already off of the sprue. I'm like, and so you're trying to find this little bit. I mean, this little bitty thing, so to speak, and I'm like, where the hell? So I finally find it and I put it back on, and then as soon as I'm starting to like close the hand around the gun, poof, that goes. And
Yep.
then close a little bit more, this finger falls off. And
Mhm.
I'm like, son of a. And so, but you're right,
It's
though. I
right
mean, it
there.
is about just getting finesse the right exact way. And then it
Wait.
goes through. The other problem, though, is those little slot things that go up and down. If
Mhm.
you don't get that right, that other one will close. And you got to sit there on the backside
when
of
you
the
when you're
hand.
trying to line them up and put them together, yes.
Yes,
No, we've all done that. Dang it. Okay, put it back up, and then you.
exactly.
But then the fun part is trying to get the trigger finger hooked
It,
into the trigger guard
yeah.
while doing that. No, it's it's a pain in the butt, but I've been
Here,
there.
let me grab it just to explain to everybody and
Yeah, because
show them.
I can't get mine out, so you got to show this. You guys, we've lost everybody at this point.
I don't care.
There's only 5 people watching.
That's
Hi,
about normal. So
hi,
here
hi, the
is
5. Yeah,
so
those.
this
Yep,
yeah, and what I love about this guy. He's
hmm
got storage on his shield.
they all do. Well, all grandpas do.
I do. I love this. I mean, this is
It,
freaking awesome.
the regular. Let's see. The 3.0 has a slot so you can put the gun, the missile launcher. You can't do the beam sabers, but the beam sabers have his storage on the back anyway, so that's perfectly fine.
Exactly.
But you know what? He's the only one that comes with effect parts,
Yeah.
like that,
And
anyways.
Yeah, and these are actually a pain in the ass to keep in too,
Hmm.
because it's
Hmm.
just a small little pedal. I mean, literally, barely. I
Yep.
mean, this one's got pegs around it, but like this one here, it's got a small. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Wherever your camera is. Yep. Itty bitty. Yep.
Itty bitty, and it goes into one small little crevice
Hmm.
on here. And if you don't get it in there exactly right, it won't go.
Yep.
But I will
I still.
say this was the hardest one out of all three kits. This was the hardest one.
Yeah. Well, it's just weird because I told you the Wing Gundam was gonna. Well, I didn't say the Wing Gundam was gonna be the hardest. I said it was gonna be the most annoying.
It was the most annoying,
Yeah, I
but
called it, didn't I?
it was intuitive though. I mean, I will say the Wing Gundam, like you saw where the things were going. You know,
Yeah.
you're like, all right, you're gonna do this, and that one I think took me. That took 4 hours to
Oh,
build
okay.
on the Wing Gundam. This one took me about five total. Barbados took me 2.5, almost
Yeah.
three.
That's the best thing about the IBO kits. They are made for beginners. Even the 1 to 100s, which are more or less just barely watered down master grades. Um, they're massively intuitive. They're super easy and massively detailed for what they are. Like if you picked up that same kit but in HG, it would take you an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It
Well,
would.
and
It's so easy.
the hardest thing for Barbados was getting them to stay on the flight stand properly because of the sheer weight of the sword.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the mace, the Christmas tree?
Oh my God, this thing is freaking.
That is one of the single biggest weapons out of any Gundam kit. Like that's an actual physical weapon. It's a joke. It really is. The Christmas tree is a joke.
I mean, we have to show how bad this looks.
You could hurt somebody with it. You really could. Like
I
you might be
mean,
able to stop somebody with that. Just whack him. It's taller than he is.
exactly. His hands suck as well, trying to keep the weapon because this one pegs in. This one does not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
So
how about this? The because you got to think, other than being smaller, it's the same scale problem with the HG, except the HG hands, the only thing holding that on is just a small peg that holds the back of the hand on, and that's what you have to deal with when holding giant weapons, especially something like that, where like if you want to hold it out, there's no physical way to do it. And because I saw plenty of them last year during my charity Lupus for Lupus contest, um, the tail is a fun concept though.
I do
Uh,
like the tail.
by the way, okay, so you like that one. You need to get the regular lupus because it's a to me it's the prettier version. It's a much cleaner, sleeker. Where is mine? Mine's in the box. I'd show it to you. Um, it's up there behind in at the top of my thing. Or I'll show it to you. It's a much prettier and sleeker version of that same Gundam, and he has a sword instead of a mace, so it's actually a little bit better. Um,
That sounds better because but I gotta get a Char to go with this guy, and
yeah,
they haven't made one yet in this size.
well, they do have the MG Sharzaku, except that the old salmon one. It's not the red one. They've never made a MG correction. Hold on, there was a very old version of an MG Charzaku that's red. But Origin is one of the only ones that has shown it off in a proper red color, whereas the original Gundam showed it off as more of a salmony color, despite the
Yeah,
fact that you see red comet. Um, but I have the Charzaku 2.0. It's right here. It's right here.
but is that master grade or?
Yeah, it's Master Grade. Look, but that's what he looks like. It's not Origin though. It's just
Yeah, but
that's the difference. They have not made a new Zaku mold in 15 years. So,
okay.
so we're hoping they give us a Zaku 3.0. Now we are getting a Zaku custom in the RE1 to 100 line that's coming up, but that's a totally different thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw that one. I thought about getting that one just because, but I'm like, okay, I might just go with that same one you're messing with right now and just paint it red. You know.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's too bad you don't do smaller kits because the damn gun won't stay in his hand. This is one of the crappy hands, by the way. Um,
Maybe I won't buy it
like
then.
that legit wouldn't stay in. So let's see if I can even show this. It might not focus enough. Can you see the wait?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's barely a little groove that the hand pegs
Yeah.
into. It's terrible. And I bumped it when I did that, and now I can't get it back in.
Yep.
So, but I'll show you this because it's something you've probably never seen outside of my channel. The Casval Custom
Ah,
RX-78.
very
So,
well, yeah.
where did my lighting go?
I was gonna say your lighting just went dead, but
The funny. Oh, I wonder my camera's just too hot now. No, it's fine. It's because I put my hand in front of it. It's probably like confused now. It's just not adjusting.
yeah.
So we'll just say screw it. And of course, I closed my Logitech controls. So it's like I can't mess with my settings. But anyways, that one is a weird one. I think it's from a video game, and it's actually not. It's actually not a Gundam, technically speaking. It's made to look like the Grandpa Gundam, but by people who worshipped the idea of Char. So that's why it's the Casval Custom. They uh they made a it's actually not even a Gundam on the inside. It's in fact mostly Zaku parts, but they just shaped it to look like a Gundam.
That's
So
that's interesting.
yeah. But I mean like kit wise, it's definitely a Gundam. That's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. Hold on, let me get my see if I can get my settings to work again.
Well, while you're doing that, I've only got two more questions for you for tonight.
Okay. Why is
Uh,
my I don't know what happened here. Oh, for some reason the gain like dropped. That's what
so,
happened.
so will we ever see an updated collection video from you?
You and that guy in my comments the other day.
Yep.
Um,
That's why I grabbed it.
yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what happened here. I guess my camera is tired. It just decided it doesn't want a camera anymore. Yes, there will be, as I answered him, there will be an updated collection video. I got to do a new cave tour for this year. Usually I do it around this time, actually,
Mhm.
because I've usually settled in. The problem is, as you've seen tonight, um, my collection is very disorganized at this point because in the last year I built like 150 kits. So they had to go somewhere. So they all got crammed in. So the newest detolf down here at the end that I got Christmas time, um, it's got stuff in it, but it's not organized. And then the next one over, it's got stuff in it, it's not organized. So what I need to do is get the final detolf that'll go right over here in the last gap that I have, and then I will spend like 5 days trying to reorganize because I really just want to have a straight up IBO detolf. And at this point, I need a straight up double O detolf, if not two. And I've got UC stuff scattered over here. I've got non Gundam builds scattered over here. So once I have it reorganized, it'll be something to show off. Plus, my room is still a bit of a mess because I've been doing reviews and reorganizing other crap. I pulled things out of my closet to make more room. So I'm throwing away old boxes and stuff. Um, and my billies have been filling up a lot lately with legends, dragon stars. I got two small shelves of dragon stars figures now. Um, so I've got to start reorganizing that. I kind of want to get another billy here in a month or so and scooch something over. It's like I need to
Mhm.
move something to make room because my Star Wars shelves aren't even like next to each other. So the good guys are on one shelf and then the bad guys are on another one, completely unrelated. So I kind of want those tied together a little bit better. My Planet X stuff isn't even on one shelf. Because I've got my seekers separated over there and I've got most of my things over here. Now that I have all the Dinobots, that's one whole shelf to itself, basically. So I've got a lot of organizing to do. That's going to make a bit of a difference before I can really show off the collection again. Because otherwise, it's just like, hey, look at this random bunch of crap thrown into a shelf. And I like to organize. I like to have
Mhm.
not dioramas, but I like to have things set up properly. Um, so like here with my three tall geese, so you can't see anymore because the camera's stupid. Uh, my three tall geese there. I've got them together on a stand. I've got Epion and Wing Zero down here on a stand. I've got my whole IBO, my original season one IBO collection, all in a cluster of action bases, all in a very nice presentation. My double O shelf, my Gundams are sitting there from my first go round at Double October, but now that I'm going on season 4 of Double October, um, I've got to organize it better, and I need a buttload of action bases to make that happen. I need just to put it in perspective. It takes four action base ones to fill the base footprint of a DTOF, and that's just to get the platform that everything will be put on. And I've got about 12 double O kits in that one in a display, and I've got about 13 or 14 IBO kits down there, all in a display. And that's doing a combination of action base ones and twos, because twos are the little ones. So, like, to get different heights on things, I use the action base ones, which are way up here, and the action base twos down here, and then do varying heights. As I was telling Joey last night. Yeah, last night. I don't know what day it is anymore. Um, so basically, that's just what it is. I need to just reorganize things. I'm going to turn my camera off for a minute and see if that helps anything. Oh, hey, that helped. Why did that work? Like, the actual Logitech setting did me no good. Turning it off on hang up, turning it back on made a difference. Did you try turning it off and turning it back on again? And now that my masterpiece collection is very slowly growing, I've got to work on that. And my beast boxes. I need to get my. If you guys don't know what beast boxes are, by all means, go look them up from 52 Toys. I love those little things, and there's so many of them coming out this year.
And they're one.
Huh?
I just need the yellow one.
Oh, you just want the D10? Yeah, we talked about that. Because I've got two different custom D10s coming, along with a custom JoJo. Well, I say custom; they're special editions. And I'm waiting on those from BBTS. The JoJo was supposed to come out first quarter. I was like, we're running out of first quarter. But it's a small Chinese company. But the fact that they've got licenses to do Alien, Predator, so they're doing those things in little box forms that can all fold out. And they haven't shown off the power loader or the Queen Alien yet for sale. They only showed the prototypes off last year at SDCC. I think it was SDCC. They've got Getter Robo. If there's some old school mecha fans, they've got actually they just came out. Regular Getter and Black Getter both just came out in that line, and they've got. It's so dumb. If you like penguins, they have I forgot what they call them. They're like chilies, or I forgot what they're called. Huh? No, well, yeah, something like that. But I forgot because they like puns. It's a 4-pack of penguins that all have slightly different things, and they all have a different suit, because they're cards. So they got diamonds, hearts, whatever, and they all come together. All 4 of them come together to be the block. And the engineering is so cool. And I looked at it online the other day because I'm going to buy them. They come as one set. And one of them has a little whoop of hair that comes up the top of his head, but you can just put it wherever you want. They actually have movable eyes, so you can do different expressive eyes. And they have just a little cog wheel underneath the beak that you can just turn, and it gets it either closed eyes, kind of look down eye, or I think even like a Japanese heart eye, like So I was like, I mean, for like less than $20. These are fun little toys, and I love flipping them back and forth, and they turn into a little cube. It comes with a little stasis thingy you can put them in and stack them, and they're fun and dumb, and I love it.
Well, and that's why I like the Diaclone, the little boxes, little with the riders and stuff, because those are always been the fun, like especially when you put all those boxes together and you make all these multiples together. I love those ones.
I'm so glad I didn't go down the Diaclone rabbit hole yet.
Okay, so I will recommend, these are the 2 sets you need to buy from Diaclone, or even the McFan Toys version, because they're the KOs of the. Get the one. Get the 2-pack that does come with the riders. Don't pull an art on us. You just buy just that on that. Sorry, art. But get the one that comes with the riders, and then of course get the upgrade kits. Because if you get those 2, you're gonna have the armored little guys, and they're just fun to play with. And those little Diaclone guys, they fit in everything. I mean, literally everything in the world they fit in.
So you're thinking tiny. I'm thinking the big powered GM.
Oh, you're thinking about battles. Yeah, you're thinking
either way. Yeah, not just the little guys. I want the big guy.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't mind having the battles one, because I used to have that one, from the 80s. That would be cool to have that guy, but it's like I'm not spending that like $500 that they want for it now.
I think it dropped in price if you don't get the newest one because they keep coming out with different versions of it. They've done that. I did mean to bring it up earlier. I just saw BBTS is doing their quote unquote spring sale, and they've got the smaller version of the Masterpiece Cycle for sale for like 25.
Yeah, bike
Machine Robo,
robo.
Machine Robo, Bike Robo, yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of want it because I had that as a kid.
Yeah. See, I if I
I
gotta
don't
be
need a
clear.
whole. I don't need a GoBot shelf. I don't need a GoBot shelf. But I had Psykill as a kid, and it was one of the very first transforming toys I ever had. I don't even know where it came from. I just now realized as an adult that's what it was.
See, I want the deluxe cycle, because he's
He's still
masterpiece.
expensive. Well,
Very.
I mean, technically speaking, they are all a masterpiece. They're just not big. Only
Yeah,
that one DX one is. And then they've
yeah.
got what was the new? They have a new one coming. I forgot what he is. Oh, the
Uh,
train. The
yeah.
train.
The train
I
one.
had that one too. I swear to God, I had, but he was little. He was only like this, and he basically just folded over himself, and the arms came out. So, like, I kind of want these now because it's like I had those as a kid, and now I
Yep.
want to have the same thing. I don't care that I don't need a whole GoBot shelf. I mean, they are really nicely done. These new versions. I don't need all of them, but I like them.
But I mean, it's a cool little set. I mean, because these are legend size. People don't realize
Yeah.
like you got leader one, you got helicopter, you got. I
Hmm.
mean, you've got. I mean, this is an instant collection. I mean, literally, if you buy all the ones from the Robo series, you're
Hmm.
done.
Yeah.
And you've got your GoBots collection. Now, to me, I want the DX one because he actually comes with the TV accurate head as well.
Yes, he comes with that other face. Yeah.
Exactly. So I want that one because in that way I can put him with Megatron, and it can be
Yeah.
the GoBot, bad guy, and you can have the Transformers bad guy together, and they scheme together, sort of like Hordak and Skeletor used to do.
Yeah. Yeah. In that
So
one
yeah.
thing.
So
I was going to ask you real quick though, because it's something you mentioned last time we talked, and you brought it up because you talked about a fan's hobby, Overlord.
mhm.
So you like Overlord,
I love Overlord.
but you don't like the monster bots.
Don't like the Monster Bots.
They have the exact same aesthetic.
I don't like the Monster Bots because of some of the engineering in them.
Okay, but look wise,
Look wise, they're okay, but their heads are off though compared to the animation model.
that's true. That's very true. But they both carry the more animation style. They look more cartoony. They don't
Yeah,
look real like the MPs do
yeah.
for the most part. And this is a discussion Bobby and I had, so teaser for that. Um,
Yeah. Bobby and I actually talked about that probably a couple months ago when we were talking about Overlord coming out.
yeah,
Um, and it's like, I mean, I loved Overlord and I like the arch enemy, the Scourge, the Masterpiece Scourge from RID. But the problem is that we don't have anything else from Fans High before that.
that's very true.
We don't have an Optimus, we don't have a Megatron, and we don't have nothing like that. And nobody wants to make that yet. Fans Hobby is probably gonna be the only people that probably will do it though.
Yeah, they're almost like Planet X with going with a certain niche. So
Yep.
they're filling things that not necessarily everybody did. I mean, we've gotten other versions of Overlord before, but nothing on that scale. Because the previous
No.
one is not remotely that size or that aesthetic. That's the reformatted, I believe. Uh,
Yeah, he's on Carnifex. I wanted Carnifex, but as soon as I got this
oh,
one, I don't
Carnifex,
want a
yeah,
Carnifex anymore.
yeah. No, they don't. They're not. They don't fit the same thing. That's the discussion. They are not the. They're not remotely the same kind of figure. So now I will say, and they've not shown anything about it, but considering the other things they've done, what if Flame Toys does a Overlord?
I'll buy it.
Because imagine what they will do with it.
Exactly. I mean, if they do an Overlord, it means they're going to do a Super Genrai,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh God, that'd be scary. Um,
because they're doing
because
Debbie. That we've
huh?
already seen pictures for Devastator from Flame Toys.
Yeah, but that's a kit.
Yep.
That's not a figure. And I do want that.
Oh,
But
you mean the figure version?
yes, the figure version of
Uh,
Overlord.
maybe
If it
depends.
if it's done
Does
with the
it?
same aesthetic, what if he has the flip out things and he's got the two? dudes.
My Double Evil already has that though.
But I'm saying, but on the Flame Toys level, I mean, I get that you're going for a certain thing, but I'm saying, would it be worth it to you to have the light up eyes, have other details, stuff like that, weapons, all the good stuff?
Only if they could promise to bring a Jinrai out with it.
Well, I mean, they've got the Star Saber though.
Yes, but that's Star Saber. Where's no Dissource yet either.
Not yet, but everybody seems to be on that kick anyways, because we've got is it MMC? I know Planet X. Planet X has Death Source and Star
And
Saber,
MMC's coming out with one.
and
They're coming with
MMC is
two
doing
versions.
both. Yeah.
Um,
So
I've got the Continuum version of that on
yeah,
pre-order because it actually comes with the extra pieces and parts,
nice.
the chest masters and whatnot.
That's
But
cool.
um, well, my phone's about to die.
Yes,
It
that's a
just gave me
good
a
thing. Good. Yes, we can call it on that by all means.
definitely. So my last question before we wrap this up is
Wrapping.
um, what will we see in your YouTube channel coming up in the
No,
future?
nothing. It's
Okay,
dead.
that was
It's
easy.
dead. It's dead. It's dying. I quit. No, after this was the last thing I was doing, Nate. Um that I knew you were gonna ask a future question. So predictable. Um basically if you want to like direct what's coming up soon, right now it's all Dragon Stars stuff coming out, and then a couple of Gundam reviews I need to do, and then trickling out over time it's going to, or over the next month or so I've got more World of Nintendo figures here. Of course, I got my Transformers I need to do, but in the future, I'm actually going to slow things down Gundam wise. Kind of spread it out. I don't need to have everything. In fact, I want to build more Star Wars kits. This year I have to do my PG Falcon over here
Very
because
good job,
it's
Phil.
screaming my name, dude. It's going to take me 2 months to build the damn thing because I'm going to be
You had it for like
detailing
a
it.
year.
Yeah, I know. Well, kind of. I had to think about it. I was like, when did I get that? Because I got it and the PG Exia at the same time. That's when I had money and I could put things on pre-order though. But I'm gonna, because you've seen my Y Wing, which is now the
Mhm.
most watched video ever on my channel. Um, that's my money maker. It's the only thing that keeps money rolling. But the Falcon, if I do it to the nines like I did that, it's going to take me months to finish. So I mean, and then I've got the B wing and an X wing to do as well, which that'll be significantly easier. But I need to get the lighting set for the B wing though. I want the thrusters that light up. Because I didn't get the P Bandai version because I wasn't going to pay $50 for a $30 kit. Um, but I mean, basically, that's just it. It's more of the same, but uh, I'm doing more build logs. I'm doing more how tos. I'm liking this how to thing, but whether it's YouTube related or if it's toy related, like the video I did for the upgrade for the DNA Designs upgrade for Power of the Primes, Optimal Optimus, that was a fun one. Because I didn't see a whole lot of people actually showing the thing going together, just reviewing it basically. Um, so yeah, that's basically what's going to happen in the future. I do want to have uh, more builder showcases. I have like none lined up yet this year, and last year by this point I had already done 4, where I'm showing off other things. And I do have my charity contest going
Yep.
on right now, Balls for Balls, raising money for testicular cancer research and stuff like that, which we've got no entries yet, but I know a lot of people are working. And every single time we see somebody posting a ball or a Haro kit that they're working on, we hit them up. So we've got like guys, like most of us are in all the Gundam groups, so that's what we're working on. So and actually, I have to get them. I'm going to open the merch store tomorrow. I got the stuff to start that, so we can get new shirts and things like that rolling for that. But yeah, that's the at least in the next year. Oh, and for fans of Double O teasers, Double October 4 will happen this year. Thomas Rice and myself have already worked out the logos and stuff like that, and I've already buying kits and planning that out. So that's like my biggest hit for the year. Usually is Double October in October. So that is in the work for my fans. If you're a fan of that series and stuff, so there you go. That's my thing in a nutshell. Bye. I'm just bye, and then just leave.
Yeah, time to go.
Yeah,
No,
time to go.
it has been a pleasure, to have you on, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for reaching out to me and wanting to do this.
Yeah.
Um, I always love doing these things. last time we had a lot of technical difficulties because I had my phone plugged in too, so that didn't help either.
That didn't help, oddly enough.
So I didn't do that this time. And look, hey, we waited for over almost 2.5 hours without it dying on me.
Our
Uh,
shortest one so far.
exactly.
That's
So
the sad part. This is our shortest one.
it is. But yeah, thank you, of course, for coming out, Shoki. I appreciate it. Everybody go check out his channel. I'll have the link down below in here. He actually has an Instagram as well, so I'll have links down in the description below for him. Is there
Instagram,
any
Twitter, Facebook, all the things.
Exactly. So thank you, brother, for coming
Yep.
out, and we'll definitely pick this up another time. And with closing remarks, did you have anything that you want to say before we close up for the night?
Nope. Just thanks for everybody for watching. And if for some reason you're seeing this in reference to me, but you're not subscribed to Nate, by all means, let's blow his numbers up. And of course, it's fun coming over here to do these things for you because I need you to pump out more content that's not just toy hunts. I want to see more reviews. Let's get a Gundam review up. Come on.
Yeah,
You've got
no,
you've got you've got three. You got three. Let's talk about it. Come on.
no, you're right. I do builds just like I did with this one that you sent me.
Uh-huh.
This actually took me an hour and a half to put together.
That's surprising.
You know, so but yeah, that's it. Thank you everybody for coming out. We appreciate each and every one of you. It's been definitely a pleasure. You guys take it easy, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Yep.
All
Y'all have a
right.
good night. All right.
All
All right.
right.
All right.
All right.